some more music. It's another cover version now. Tony Joe White doing a version of
Hello, Richard.
G'day, Dave.
Tony Goldsmith might. She's the... I'm just going to do a backup thing here just in case it doesn't happen on my computer. It's got the backup. First thing, sports commentary. Tony, yeah. 30 seconds, no worries. Welcome to TAS Stadium in Launceston, and it's an exciting contest today in the Cricket Tasmania Premier League T20 competition, and it's a pretty vital clash for both teams. It's top of the ladder Clarence up against the 7th place Raiders. Although on a tight ladder, the Raiders have still got a chance to get through the final. They need to win the doubleheader this weekend at TAS Stadium. So exciting times ahead. It's a smoky environment. If you're watching the stream at the moment, you'll be able to see sort of a haziness in the picture. And out the back of TAS Stadium, you can barely see the CBD of Launceston, such as the smoke here today. But it's not going to stop us playing, and we're going to have a great contest. And I'd like to introduce my fellow commentator here in the box here. It's Richard Bennett. G'day, Richard.
G'day, Dave. Thanks for broadcasting with me.
No worries. And it's exciting times to be back at TAS Stadium again.
Look, it's an absolute privilege to have access to the stadium. We've got this game today and Glenorchy visiting tomorrow. Unfortunately, the Glenorchy women who were also to play tomorrow have needed to forfeit, but we've got the two men's games and an opportunity for the Greater Northern Raiders women to have a good workout at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
That's right, and so it's going to be a great weekend here at TAS Stadium. And I'll tell you what, the outfield, Richard, has been done since the footy season, and isn't it a great picture? And I've been out on it. It's just like a carpet.
Look, I was here early this morning to help take the covers off, and if you could just picture the best golf green and multiply it by however many, that is the quality of the surface. It's absolutely extraordinary. And the two drop-in wickets in the wicket block both look in great condition as well. We'll be playing today on the other wicket, the wicket that wasn't used for the Hurricanes match here the other night.
So if you're watching the stream at the moment, it's a wicket onto the right and the one on the left there. That was used at the Hurricanes game, as Richard said. Now, a tough test today for the Raiders, Richard. Looking at the Clarence team there, got two of the current Sheffield Shield bowling out lineup, Sam Rainbird and Lawrence Neil-Smith, and they'll certainly test the young batters for the Raiders.
Oh, they will, and of course that's what it's all about for the Raiders. Our men have been void of this opportunity for a generation, and last year and this we now have this opportunity to test ourselves against the better players. So we never shirk these opportunities when they come along. And to be playing on the surface as we are today really does provide a terrific opportunity for our players to see where they're at. And of course, in the game before Christmas, when we took on a star-studded South Hobart Sandy Bay, we came up trumps. Yep. And of course, it does an enormous service to the confidence for the pathway here in the north when when we can come up against it and come out on top. Now, listeners and viewers, if you only why Richard is saying we, because Richard, you're heavily involved, of course, with the Raiders Club. Yeah, look, What's your capacity this year? I'm operations,
okay,
so that ranges from organising the things at each home match, and for the Raiders, because we host, or we have our home matches at a range of venues across the north. There's all manner of things to put in place. And so my work includes those things and fundraising and just general committee duties to make it possible for the players to take the field.
Thanks for the Clarence line-up. A bit of a northern flavour there. And Michael Jones is an ex-South Launceston keeper, and he's probably very experienced now with the Clarence Cricket Club. Also, Lockie Borsboom moved south a little while ago. He's actually in the Tassie Devils as well. He's a good young footballer. And, of course, the name Allenby is synonymous with cricket in Tassie over the years. Harry Allenby there as well. So they've got some experience there. But the Raiders, as you mentioned, a great outing last time. A few new players from the last lineup. And Jonah Watts is one that we'll keep our eye on. He's sort of come in at late notice, and a hard-hitting batsman.
Yeah, Jonah, a powerful striker of the ball, and so we're interested to see what he can bring to the table. But, of course, Cooper Anthus, who's had some terrific results in the underage carnivals. He comes back in, and Ben Spinks, fresh from his national under-19 experience, and coastal player Brandon King back in as well for today's game.
And a feature of the Raiders last time, they batted quite well, but their fielding and bowling was sensational. And I talk of the likes of James Beattie, returned to great form. Young Jake Dixon, Sam Omani, they really bowled tight lines and really starved the South Hobart Sandy Bay batters of opportunities.
That was the thing that pleased us most. Often we have found that we can match it for a period of time. But in that last game, just at the critical moments, we maintained excellent line and length and control. And as you say, James Beattie really found that rhythm that he'd been looking for all season, and took 4 wickets, and Omani as well. So a terrific result. And young Jake Dixon's been a real surprise packet for us. Young player who's been given an opportunity and absolutely has held his own.
So the opening batsman, experienced combination here of Dan Salpietro and Harry Allenby. And it's going to be opening bowler for the Raiders in James Beattie.
Harry Allenby, a very hard striker of the ball, and both batsmen very experienced grade players. Harry Allenby, in fact, has won the last 2 seasons Premier League Best Player awards. So he's formidable.
So, great contest. We're about to get underway here. First ball, James Beattie, left arm over the wicket. Had a great haul of wickets in the last game against Hobart Sandy Bay after a slow start to the season. But we'll be looking to back up that performance pre-Christmas with some more polls here today. But Dan Salpietro stands in his way, the right-hander. So we're underway now here at TAS Stadium. The first ball is wide outside off stump. It's within inside the line. Nice bounce. That was a feature of the wicket the other night, Richard. It certainly had a little bit of bounce in it.
Yes, we were selling raffle tickets
You probably didn't see
during
it,
the game, but what I did see was that it did seem to stand up. It was not only hot, it was steamy, and then of course it was wet as well. So it seemed to stand up, but at reasonable pace.
Beattie left arm over, just Salpietro cuts, gets it through the field beautifully along that golf course type outfield that Richard mentioned. It's away to the boundary for 4. So that's the first score on the board for Clarence. A lovely shot there from Salpietro, Richard.
It was. The ball was too short and wide, and it was easily cut away. And that's a long boundary, but there was never any doubt that it was headed for the boundary line. Beautiful outfield.
So score up to none for 4 after 2 deliveries. So tight offside field. Just the 2 men out, of course, in the power play. He cuts again. He's caught as he is. Great catch. And is that Brandon King there? I think
yes.
Number 23 has taken the catch. And it's the first wicket down, and a very, very big one as far as the Raiders are concerned. As Salpietro is caught there by King off the bowling of Beattie. It's 1 for 4.
King went to his left, and it looked like one of those ones that might have spilt free as his elbows hit the ground, but he hung onto it. And look, that was perhaps a fortunate one for Beattie, because it was in the same spot as the previous ball that went for 4. But this time, of course, he found the fielder in the ring, and early success for the good guys.
Yep. Michael Jones coming out now.
Left-handed player, and very busy at the crease.
Former Scott Jakeburn student, I believe.
Correct. Yep.
So a lot of Northerners, ex-Northerners playing in the Cricket Tasmania Premier League, and hopefully with the Raiders now, they don't have to make that trip south quite so early anyway.
Well, that's the key. We absolutely understand that those with a first-class cricketing future need to be Hobart-based, but the whole concept of the Raiders is to allow them to stay in the north for longer, and if and when it's not right for them to be in Hobart, then they needn't deny themselves of cricket opportunity remaining in the north. So it's good for cricket, but it's good for the community as well. Our concept, we believe.
It's 1 for 4. Fourth ball of the first over. James Beattie into Jones down the leg side, and that'll probably be a wide. Didn't touch anything, so first extra for the day is a wide down leg side.
Dave, you can see already that the ball is carrying through to the wicketkeeper at shoulder height, and of course, especially in the northern part of the state, we are very used to the ball coming through at ankle height to the wicketkeeper. Terrific to have access as we have.
Beattie to Jones. This one's on the stumps. He just plays defensively offside. Can't get any run. So it was a lovely catch there, wasn't it, Richard? The ball was fairly moving. He had to move to his left. And took it very well to Brandon King.
Well held. Well held.
So smoke-filled UTAS Stadium. Also a bit cloudy as well. A bit hard to tell what's cloud and what's smoke at the moment. As Beattie bowls to Jones, he flicks it off the pads. He'll get a single here, will he? Yes, he will. So well done there by Jake Dixon, the infield. It's a back into the keeper. Sam Elliston Buckley, the keeper today, Richard, and he's doing well with the Launceston Cricket Club.
Yeah, look, he's acquitted himself at this higher level, really well. He's a powerful striker of the ball and is not intimidated at the level. He was given some news 12 or 18 months ago that he really needed to put some hard work into his wicket keeping if that was the role he wanted to play, and to his credit he has, and he's really pushed on well this season.
Beattie this time to Allenby, who lets it go outside the off stump to end the over. It's the end of the first over, and it's 1 for 6. Jones on 1, Allenby yet to score. The man out was the opener Dan Salpietro, who was caught for 4.
Dave, free entry to all Cricket Tasmania Premier League games, and there's certainly plenty of free seats, spare seats available here today. So I would encourage anyone who has an interest in cricket and cricket in the north in particular to wander down. North Launceston Football Club have been good enough to open 2 facilities for us, a bar that will be open later in the day, and then a canteen as well. So really a terrific community effort to be able to host any occasion at a stadium such as this.
Absolutely. And Sam O'Mahony coming into the attack, a boy from the Northwest Coast.
He is. He's a Devonport player, and he's a bowling all-rounder, but he does have a capacity to hit the ball hard, and as he matures, I think he'll be an attractive one-day player, T20 player. Who knows? He could be a hurricane.
Scoreboard's up and working, which is good news.
Well, the scorers will be pleased. They've worked long and hard in getting their computer up and away.
Shout out to Kevin French there in the scorer's box as O'Mahony comes in and bowls this time. Rain forward to that delivery there was Michael Jones. It's the dot ball. So 1 for 6. So quiet start so far.
Both fielders outside the ring on the offside on this occasion, whereas we had them on the leg side last over. 1
slip in place. That's the skipper. Is he skipper today, Miles Barnard?
He is.
He is. That's a caught and bowled opportunity. It was flat batted back to the bowler there by Jones. It was a tough chance. He had to get 2 hands to his right, come off his fingers, which he's now looking at ruefully. But a chance goes down there. For the Raiders.
Very difficult to hold those return catches for the bowlers, but I have known bowlers to specifically practice that eventuality, but on that occasion Sam couldn't hold on.
From the town end, O'Mahony this time to Jones. This is full. He sort of chops into the offside, down a third man. Loose delivery there from O'Mahony. They're going to come back for 2. Could be a bit risky, but they've run it well. Took on the throw, so a good run there, or a couple of runs there to Michael Jones.
Looked like Ben Spinks got himself a bit lost in the deep there at third man. Very challenging on a big oval such as this to know how far off the boundary to be in order to prevent the second run.
An interesting shot, which is sort of just threw the bat at it really outside the off stump. Not the best of shots, but he got the 2 runs. This one's right on the stumps, it's on the leg side. Pick the gap there at mid-wicket and they take an easy single. Another 1 to Jones. Score is now 9, with Jones moving up to 4. Very still day here so far. We know the wind's going to get up later with a bit of a wind change. So Marnie coming over the wicket to Allenby. He's only faced the 1 ball so far to get off the mark. Just a little bit of consolidation going on here after losing that early wicket. There's a backward point, cover, extra cover mid-off, so a packed offside field. Tough to get it through. Omani, this time to Allenby, who onto the leg side, straight to the ring field there. No run on this occasion. So a reasonably tight line's been bowled here.
Yeah, it's nice and straight. Cooper Anthus has gone back to long on, and we also have a deep square leg, so both fielders allowed outside of the circle on the leg side.
This time Allenby drives through the covers, over cover, out through extra cover for 4. Wide delivery that time from Omani.
Yeah, too much width, and the batsman was able to free his arms. And it's a shot that we've seen come into the game in recent years, hitting the ball over cover, and there was never any danger. It was a free flow of the bat.
So the end of the first over from Omani, 7 off. So 2 overs, 1 for 13. Jones 4, Allenby 4. Jones out for 4, so all the 4s on the scoreboard. The 1 extra. So James Beattie to bowl the next over.
Just like to see the Raiders up and about a little more. It doesn't seem to be quite the energy that is required for T20 cricket.
As it's punched on the leg side. No run for the next over from Beattie.
That ball, Jake Dixon misfielded, but he moved very well to his right, and by the time he misfielded, the batsman had decided no, so it was still a good intent.
Jones this time, all on the opposite side, a bit upish. Gets towards Dixon to his left, but they take a single. So another run to Jones. So quiet start here. Certainly the Raiders want to make sure this power play is one where they don't get away to an 8 or 9 and over. Just try and keep it tight, maybe 5 or 6 and over. Something to build upon. As Beattie bowls, this is down the leg side. It's down to a vacant fine leg position by Allenby. Nice, soft hands, flick of the wrist. That'll go down to fine leg for 4. So just lost his line there a little bit, James Beattie. And Allenby took full toll of that delivery down for another boundary down on the leg side. Allenby goes up to 8. Too much leg side there.
Yeah, on his pads, money for jam there, and as you say, the fielder behind square leg was up in the circle, and once it beat him, it was always 4.
This time, it's a big drive outside the off stump, and it's over cover, over sort of cover point. It's going to roll to the boundary. It gets to the boundary now for 4. So starting to unleash now is Harry Allenby. So a big 4. He took the chance there to the ball outside off stump, hit it beautifully. And the run rate just starting to sneak up a little bit here at TAS Stadium. Score up to 22. It's a dangerous player, Allenby.
Oh, yeah. He didn't get all of that, but it still landed 3/4 of the way to the fence, and that was good enough.
Next ball. This time he's more circumspect. Plays into the covers, no run.
And the line a bit tighter that time, and that's where Beattie will look to have his stock ball. So James Beattie bowling from the northern end of the ground. Number 13 on his back.
wearing the charcoal and orange colours of the Raiders. Smacked down the ground by Allenby. That's a beautiful shot. It might make it to the boundary. In pursuit there is Ollie Wood, but it's behind the side screen for our vantage point here, but it's gone over the line. Another 4 at 3-4s in this over to Harry Allenby. But that was a classical off drive.
Yeah, between the bowler and mid-off, and it was the long on who was back. Oliver Wood chased it, but it was never really a chance. And yes, that was a good over for Clarence.
The sun just starts to sneak through the clouds here. Forecast temperature over 30 degrees today, but I just feel as if the cloud and the smoke is keeping that down a little bit. Chance now for Sam O'Mahony. I think he's continuing the attack there.
Yes, he is from the southern end.
This time he's bowling to Michael Jones, who hasn't had much of the strike of recent times. This ball is on the stumps. Jones on the leg side thinks about a single. They can't get it. So smart fielding there by Jonah Watts into the side for his debut today. So that's a dot ball. So into the fourth over, 1 for 26. Just started to accelerate after losing that early wicket. Dan Sal Pietro. As in comes O'Mahony. Oh, that was kept low. It's bowled him. So I don't know whether that kept low, but it's got the inside edge. I think he looks ruefully at his bat.
Yep.
So he's chopped it on its say, and that's a big wicket there to O'Mahony, a big wicket for the Raiders.
It looked like he was trying to defend or perhaps even run it down to third man, and it's come off the inside edge and then taken leg stump. So great reward there. Bowling nice tight lines, O'Mahony, and he's been impressive early on.
Yeah, and just as they were starting to get a partnership together there, they've taken a big wicket. Michael Jones.
I think I heard an appeal from Invermay Park there too, Dave. Launceston taking on Mowbray in a two-day NTCA game at Invermay Park, which is, of course, in excellent condition nowadays as well.
Fantastic, and it was really great. It was a very cold day the day the WBBL game was there with the Hurricanes,
yes.
But gee, it looked a picture that day as well.
Yeah, the ground staff and the Launceston City Council doing a terrific job. Pleasure to work with them, and of course, to have access to UTAS Stadium between the two Big Bash games has been something that grade cricketers haven't enjoyed.
2 for 26 is the score. Experienced Wade Irvine in now, player with over 15 years of experience. Also bowl some handy spin if required. So I mentioned that a lot of experience in this Clarence team. So O'Mahony, 2 for 26, and he comes now. It's short to Irvine, and he hooks that one away. Set up a little bit. They should get 2 here. It's down to deep fine leg. They might even turn for 3. Think about it. Just settle with a 2. So a bit of a friendly delivery to get first up.
Yes, but worth a try early on. A batsman is not necessarily expecting that short one, but he dealt with it well. Clarence, Dave, of course, they have a new ground at Kangaroo Bay when Bunston Arena became difficult for them to access. A new ground was developed.
The first ball. Well, next ball. This time it's just played on the offside by Irvine.
Bowled with a leg spinning action, that one. Sam is one of the young players not afraid to use his variations. We do find that, of course, a lot of our young players are able to practice the types of variations they see on television, but then difficult for them to implement them in a match. But not so Sam.
This one, Irvine. Into the offside, no run.
So yes, Clarence have got this excellent ground at Kangaroo Bay. Yeah, so it's just near the Eastland Shopping Centre in front of Rosny College. Terrific facility, and they've got all the nets and excellent function area there. So they've not been too damaged by having to move away from Blunston Arena.
Last ball, the fourth over. 2 for 28 is the score. O'Mahony to Irvine. Another good accurate ball from O'Mahony. All we can do is play this on the leg side. So good finish to the over there. In fact, a good overall there because it's just the 2 runs off it. And Omani now 1 for 9 off 2 overs. So fine bowling by the young man.
Yeah, look, that's excellent. He's thrown in some variations there and just shown himself to be fearless in the way he goes about it. So well done. There is a bowling change from the northern end, and it'll be Oliver Wood, James Beattie's great mate, and he'll be bowling right arm medium pace. He'd say medium fast, Dave, I'm sure.
We'll wait and see. I haven't got the radar today, but we'll wait and see. 4 overs gone, 2 for 28, so 7 and over. And the 2 wickets, of course, the valuable wickets, Pietro and Jones. Allenby had a huge over from this end last time. First ball from Wood is short. He plays it nicely down a third man. Now they'll think of 2 here as it's a bit to the right of the fieldsman. They turn, they don't come back. So sharp piece of fielding down there at fine leg. And that was the young man there in Cooper Anthys. So just the 1 run. It's Wade Irvine on strike here the first time.
You just noticed Sam and his dad Dion down in front of us. They better make sure that we, a polite there, Dave.
Yeah, well, he was anxious to get a bit of a recording of our last broadcast. So, obviously committed father there. Give a scrapbook as Wood short. Doesn't quite get the full purchase on this as Irvine, but it's through the field, so they should double up here for 2. Good piece of sliding fielding there by Anthys once again. Well, it's not a great throw, but no damage done. So 2 more runs there to Irvine, who moves on to 4 off the 5 balls. Allenby 17 off just 9. And the score is 2 for 31. So Oliver Wood, number 14, on his back. Into his stride now. This one's a good ball outside off stump, but doing well there is Irvine to get it down to third man for a single. Just turning the strike over at the moment. 2 for 32. What do you think is going to be a good score on this wicket? It's a bit hard to tell, isn't it? We didn't get a full innings the other night, but probably 130, 140?
We'd be happy to chase 130. Clarence would be looking for more like 150 or 60, I would think.
Wood bowls, and it's a nice soft-handed shot. This might go for 4 down to third man through about second step. Although the fields makes good progress to it and gets Omani down there. Picks it up now, but they'll get 3. Great running.
It was terrific fielding, but he overran the ball once he stopped the 4, and then in the time it took him to come back to it, the batsman realised what was going on and scampered through for a third.
Just shows that at this level, all the shots don't have to be powerful. That was a beautiful soft-handed little late glance on the offside.
Yeah, soft hands.
Soft hands, yep.
Yep.
He knew there was a lot of vacant territory down there, and they end up getting the 3 runs as Wood this time is down the leg side. That'll be a wide, well taken there by Elliston Buckley. But another run goes on to the score. It's a second extra, 2 for 36. So a few spectators down in front of us here.
Yes, it was about 10 times as many as there was a few minutes ago, Dave. So it's a really...
It's a vast stadium, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. It's the same that we hear for TSL football. There can be 500 or 1,000, but it looks like there's no one.
It's on the onside this time. Easy single taken. So another run there to Wade Irvine. It's 2 for 37. Oliver Wood, none for 9 in his first over. Just hasn't quite found the right line so far. Of course, the boys will miss Anish Paran with his left arm spin today.
Yes.
It'll be a big loss as Wood comes in this time to Aaron Beard. Sitting on the pad. Was there a little inside edge there? A bit of a muted appeal. It did seem to zip off the wicket a little bit. So finishes the over well there does Oliver Wood. 9 off the over. It's 5 overs down, 2 for 37. We'll take a short break and be back in just a moment here at TAS Stadium.
Good morning, country, on your radio, Monday to Friday. If you'd like to hear a bit of this,
Pick it up, Amanda.
or even this,
back to Utah Stadium. And sound you can hear it's not rain. It's because the sun's out, the metal and the grandstand roof here is starting to expand a little bit, making that noise. His next ball is next over. First ball from Romani, who's bowling a third over, which is a bit unusual in the T20 these days, but it's pushed onto the onside for a single by Irvine. Just returning now to Anish Param. Richard, yes, so he's had to return back to Singapore.
Yeah, he's been with Devonport for several seasons now, and yes, he made a mid-season decision that he needed to go home for personal reasons, but he's been a terrific contributor to our sport in the north of the state, and a very, very good player. A nicer man you wouldn't meet, Dave.
Next ball, it's just played onto the onside to deep mid on, easy single for Allenby. Score goes up to 39. Last over the power play here. He's available both with the bat and the ball, and he just comes off a couple of steps, but he's just had that loopy action and takes the pace off the ball with his left-arm spinners, and it's hard to get away.
He's wily. He hadn't had the success with the ball until our last game.
Omani to Irvine. That's a good ball on the top of off stump. Mistimed there by Irvine, fielded by Williams, no run.
Yeah, so we thought he was just a little bit off with his bowling in the earlier part of this season, and but as I say, the game against South Hobart Sandy Bay at the NTCA ground, he was an excellent contributor with both bat and ball.
So Sam Omani, impressed with his first spell here, Richard. Just conceded the 11 runs in his third over. Left arm over. This one's a bit short down the leg side. Put the mocker on here. He's flayed one down the leg side. He's represented Tassie, I think, in junior cricket, Sam Omani.
Yes, he was away with 19s just now. They had their carnival in Western Australia.
They had a couple of interesting sort of carnival there. They had a massive win over Vic Metro, which is always...
And they beat Western Australia first up, but it's a long carnival.
Hot weather.
Yeah, we'll always find it tough.
This one's on the leg stump, flicked around the corner. Oh, misfield there, short, fine leg. That was Ben Spinks, and cost him one, maybe two. Now there's a chance for a run out. Doesn't hit the stumps, so they might have been through anyway. So bonus 2 runs there for Wade Irvine, which he probably shouldn't have got.
No, you've been really, he looked hesitant there, and it went straight through him, and he'd be very disappointed with that.
And it's South Africa where there are no excuses.
No,
can't blame it on anything.
It didn't bubble.
Although sometimes you do get those spinning ones, but that wasn't one of those ones on that occasion. There's Omani from the town end, left arm over. This one's right on the stumps. Irvine just soft hands it to the offside. 3 players converge on it, but they still get the single.
It's getting more, not less hazy, Dave, isn't it?
It's on and off. The wind's up again now because you can see the flags in the distance there.
Yes.
So it's blowing it in and out a bit, I think. Of course, our thoughts are with everybody battling fires at the moment. We've got a few in Tassie down Fingal way, which are a little bit of a worry. Omani. 1 for 15 in his third over. And this time Allenby just plays it a mid-wicket. Sharp piece of fielding there. No run.
Dave, I did mention earlier that unfortunately the Glenorchy women's team needed to forfeit the game that they were to play against our Raiders tomorrow, and that was in part because of 2 of their players involved in fighting the fires. One is a full-time TAS Fire Service employee and another a volunteer firefighter. Of course, important and necessary contributions from those women. Simply bad luck that it's meant or been a contributor to the requirement for Glenorchy to have forfeited that game.
Yeah, the wind's definitely got up in the last 15 minutes or so. You can see the trees in the distance also swaying, so it's a bit of a change later on. The wind coming a bit more from the south. It's Oliver Wood. We'll get to the power play analysis in a minute because it's just completed, Richard, but we'll watch Wood here bowl to Irvine. This one's on the stumps. He plays on leg side, no run. So how do you see 2 for 43? It's not a bad effort from the Raiders.
Look, it's gold to have grabbed those 2 early wickets. Allenby was looking dangerous in particular. So yeah. Look, I would say probably on probably par. Both teams would be reasonably happy with the power play.
As Wood comes in now, this time to Irvine outside the off stump. Lets it go. In fact, sorry, he has a dash at it, I should say. Doesn't let it go. And it's through to the keeper. So just a dot ball there. So tight start to the over. 2 dot balls from Oliver Wood. Keeping the pressure on at the Clarence batsman. Shuffles and gets in his run out as Oliver Wood into Irvine. And that's beaten outside the off. That's a good delivery. Bounce. Bit of seam.
Lift and moved away, wasn't it? Yeah, that's a terrific delivery in any format of the game. And lucky not to have had a little tickle on that one. I see Eamon Doherty down there, Cricket Tasmania Premier League manager. Looks like he might be enjoying one of North Launceston Football Club's meat pies.
Yes, indeed. He made the trip back up north, the ex-Georgetown boy. As it's just played on the onside there by Irvine. That's 4 dot balls, so it's an outstanding over so far.
This is where the fielding side will do anything to prevent a boundary at the end of the over. If they feel that they can tie the batting side down early, they know that the batter is almost compelled to look for the boundary. And, of course, that can create an opportunity.
Next one, and it's smashed down the ground by Irvine, but just the 1 run. Didn't quite get full hold of that down to meet on. So 1 run there to Clarence.
So now that the power play is finished, we've got 4 fielders outside of the inner ring circle. And of course it enables, or more enables, the fielding side to minimise the damage, especially late in the over.
Next ball from Wood. It's time to Allenby. He's on the leg side now. They might push hard for 2 here. It's pushed to a gap. Soft hands once again. I think they'll make it comfortably. Good running there from Allenby. He knew straight away there was going to be 2 in that. But a great over from Oliver Wood there.
Yep. Just
the 3 runs off it. So that takes the score up to 46 after the 7 overs. So this is City Park Radio 103.7 and 96.5. Bring your local cricket here today and tomorrow. We're here tomorrow for the Glenorchy game as well.
Yeah, that game starts at 2:30, Dave. Now there will be some women's cricket, some intra-club cricket from 11 o'clock, but the now feature of the day will be that game against Glenorchy 2:30.
So looks like we're going to change of bowling.
Yes, Brandon King to bowl. He bowls right arm off spin.
So spin into the attack in the form of Brandon King. First ball, and it's a big shout for LBW. Ball's also taken by the keeper, but nothing happening. So good start from Brandon King. Dot ball first up. Second delivery, round the wicket, tosses it up. Irvine smashes it down the ground. They might think of 2 here as it's going slowly to fields. There's a misfield, so they'll get 2 now. And so throws the ball back in there, does Cooper Anthys, but the damage is done. Richard shaking his head.
Yeah. Very disappointing fielding. It wasn't quick to the ball and still fumbled.
Next ball, and just lays back on this one, does Irvine. But can't get it through the field, so dot ball. So 2 for 49 here at TAS Stadium. There's Brandon King round the wicket, right arm. Running forward here is Allenby, so this is a really good start.
Tidy over.
Next ball round the wicket. King, as it's onto the onside by Allenby. So certainly a great start here and a great couple of overs. They're really putting the screws on. That's the end of that first over. And Richard Brown and King 1 over, none for 4. So 2 really tight overs, an important part of the game.
Yeah, look, he's an underrated off-spinner and a good striker of the ball. I'm told that Cricket Australia tested Brandon some years ago. They were looking for spin bowlers who really gave it a rip, maximum revolutions, and he tested extraordinarily high in the amount of spin that he imparted on the ball. So we're really pleased that he's made himself available to the Raiders last season and this, and giving himself a good opportunity to impress.
Oliver Wood for his third over. Into Allenby, and down leg side, that'll be a wide. And interesting here, 2 or 3 over spells, Richard, so not the massive changing round of the bowling, which is probably gets the bowlers into a bit of a rhythm. So we saw Omani bowl 3 on the trot, and now Oliver Wood 3 on the trot here.
Yeah, most of the most of what we see on television in the Big Bash is picked up at club level. Most of the strategy and the technique, but occasionally, yeah, as we've seen today, the captains will prefer
to Allenby. Sorry, it's misfielded. Well, probably well fielded in the sense that it was going way down the ground, maybe for a boundary, but he took the pace off it, deflects to the offside for just 1 run to Allenby.
Yeah, occasionally the captains will prefer to give their bowlers spells of 3 or 4 overs, especially, of course, when they're getting on top.
Allenby 25, Irvine 14. Wood to Irvine. He just lays back and late cuts this one to the infield for a single. So they're happy to do it in 1s and 2s at the moment. Been a while since we've seen a boundary. So good restriction here by the Raiders bowlers. Who are our bowlers still to come, do you think? Jake Dixon, of course, we haven't seen him as yet.
Yeah, Jake will bowl. Cooper Anthus will bowl as well.
So plenty of options there. As now it's played into the offside. Coming down here towards Ben Spinks, who does the fielding well.
And of course Ben Spinks has not been called on us yet. So Captain Miles Barnard certainly has some bowling options at his disposal. Eamon Doherty's just moved into the commentary box there. I think he's attending to the
stream,
the live stream.
So Oliver Wood comes in now, and this one's short, and it's hoiked around to the onside. That's a beautiful shot. Jake Williams can't cut it off, and that's the first boundary for quite a while there. Wade Irvine, so just erred on the short side there. Did Oliver Wood, and he got punished.
Classic pull shot, and it went in front of square. Jake Williams was situated pretty much right on square. Only had 10 or 15 metres to cover, but was no chance.
So 4 runs. Oliver Wood. Just it's the first poor delivery for quite a while there as he comes in now and down the ground. Well, he tries to go down the ground. Big thick edge. Down to third man. Taken on the bounce. Wasn't meant to go there. It was meant to go much squarer than that.
Yeah, it was
get the run.
It was in the air for a long time, and I thought for a moment that Omani might have made the ground, but in the end, no, fell several metres short.
So nice hoik away there by Allenby. This time he goes for a big one through mid-on. He saw that the field was up. It's beaten and through to Elliston Buckley, so no contact. And he'd over there from Wood. And at the end of that over, it's 2 for 59. After the 9th over, we've got Wade Irvine on 20, Harry Allenby on 26. Looks like they might be getting towards an acceleration.
Yes, Yeah, they're looking to push on now, and they probably need to. I would think that they'd still be looking at or hoping for 140 or 150. So yes, they'll need to start to push hard for twos into the outfield, and of course they'll be looking for minimum one boundary per over as well.
Okay, it's time Brandon King. He's beaten as it keeps a bit low outside the off stump. Big cut shot attempted there by Wade Irvine. So no run. It's a good spell so far from King. Just concede the 4 runs. He tosses this one up. Mistimed shot on the leg side. No run again. So coming round the wicket, what do you make of that, Richard, to the right-hander?
Just trying to cramp the batsman for room, and he's bowled good lines.
This one's a bit shorter through the onside. Just the one run out to deep square leg.
He's bowled nine deliveries now for 5 runs, so he's certainly delivering on what his skipper would have been after.
Round the wicket comes Brandon King. Bit croakiness in the voice there as it's cut. Is it going to get past the field? No, well fielded there by James Beattie. They do get the run. So one more to Allenby. So he's on 27 off 20. Irvine 21 off 26. So striking at 135 is Allenby. Around the wicket. Here comes King. He tosses up. Nice shot by Irvine down to deep mid on. So 3 singles on the trot there.
Did you calculate that striking at 135, just mentally there, Dave, or have you got some other special tool for that? You don't have to tell me.
I've got some aids here. As next one is a bit short outside off stump. It's thrashed down the ground, but down to deep mid off. So no real damage done there for the Razor. Nearly over. 2 overs for 8 now for Brandon King. And the score goes up to 2 for 63 off 10 overs. We'll take a short break. Back in just a moment here on City Park Radio.
Have I got this?
Welcome back to TAS Stadium. Dave Moore and Richard Bennett. We're covering the Raiders versus Clarence T20 game. It's a tight contest. 10 overs, 2 for 63. Change of bowler, Richard.
Young Jake Dixon to bowl. He bowls just gentle medium, but so far proven himself to be really difficult to get away. I hope he can make a good start here. It's an important stage of the game.
Game down south, he took 3 for 8. We'll get to that in a second as it's the first ball, and he's beaten outside of stump as he tries to hit it through the leg side. Does Harry Allenby advance down the pitch, tried to hit through mid-wicket, but didn't make contact.
Really deceptive. The batsman would have thought, oh, he's a full toss first up, but somehow the ball seemed to tail in a little bit and maybe dip and straight through to the keeper.
Doing up his shoelaces, young Jake Dixon. Yeah, I think he took 3 for 8. I can't remember, might have been against Kingborough.
Yeah, 3 for 8 first game. Yeah.
Boy from the northwest coast, as a lot of these youngsters are. Right arm over, advances again as Allenby, but it's right in the slot. Goes out to deep mid wicket to Jake Williams, who hurls the ball back in. So just a single there to Allenby. He moves up to 29. Irvine 22. 2 for 64. Hope you're enjoying our coverage here on City Park Radio and via the Cricket Tasmania Premier League live stream. We're trying these live streams and hoping that they'll be a success in the future. This one's a bit shorter. Head was in the air from Irvine, didn't make contact. Dot ball. Is he bowling nagging lines? As we hear another wicket falling there at Invermay Park, Richard.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that appeal's getting to us, Dave. But
might have to get home to go out the back and have a look to see what's going on. There's Jake Dixon. Right arm over to Wade Irvine. Keeps a bit low. Hit to the infield. Sharp fielding there from Jonah Watts. No run.
I think the Big Bash commentators would describe this as pace-off bowling.
Yeah. Well, 5 runs off the last 10 deliveries. So 4 runs off Brandon King's over. Now just the 1 off this. So something's going to give you in a moment, you'd imagine. Flurry of runs or a wicket. So Jake Dixon, it's time to Irvine, who plays it nicely, late cut, down to third man for a single.
Yeah, so an excellent start here for Dixon. And I'm thinking that batsmen will be targeting mid-wicket. So Jake Williams is in the frame, I think.
And it's the other Jake Dixon, this time to Alan B, who aims a big drive out off stump. He misses. He slaps the bat in a little bit of disgust there. Can't make contact, good over. Warm round of applause there for Jake Dixon. So just a 2 off the over, Richard.
An exceptionally good over. Just enough shape there, both in and away from the batsman. Young player. I think Jake's probably just 16. To be bowling at this stage of a T20 game on this surface against these batters, that's a terrific result. Well, scoreboard's just moved to 3 off the over, but still a terrific.
Okay.
A terrific. Oh no, back to
2
2.
for 65. Yep. So Brandon King has been the fashion today. 3 over spells round the wicket, and is that out? It's bowled him. So round his legs there, Wade Irvine, and that's a big wicket for Brandon King.
No, I think it beat him outside the pad, so your bowling was right arm around. He went to sweep it, but I believe it's gone on the outside of the pad, taken off stump. Excellent reward for Brandon King, who's doing a great job for his team.
So that's a big wicket for the Raiders. They just seem to take wickets just when they need one, Richard, and that's, I suppose, the secret of this game, isn't it?
It's the secret of cricket, isn't it? But yes, so far so good. Whilst ever you can take wickets at reasonably regular intervals, of course, well, obviously, opposition have got to continually start new partnerships.
So new batter coming in, and it's 23 runs there off 31 for Wade Irvine. As it looks like it's number, I'm trying to pick up here.
Neil Smith.
That's the name that's gone up on the scoreboard. He's wearing a bit of a different number to what I expect him to be. But that's all right, we'll go with that. Clarence Neil Smith. And number 19 on the back.
Yes, he's in our programs as 13, but I believe
we'll go with the scoreboard.
We'll go with that.
So he's going to face his first ball. Of course, state player at the moment. Moved to Tassie for some opportunities, and he's acquitted himself well as one of the 4 pacemen we usually play in the state team. Is the first ball. It's just defended down the pitch. And Neil Smith just has a bit of a look first up. 3-4, 65. Down the ground, that just clears the infield from Neil Smith. Gutsy, but he's done it well. Over there to Jonah Watts. It's going to go down to the boundary for 4 through deep mid-off. So a big shot there from Neil Smith, put the foot down the wicket. And took the bowler on, got his reward there.
Captain Barnard has some questions to answer for himself shortly. He's not bowled Cooper Anthus or Ben Spinks, and the 5 bowlers he has used have each done well. So he'll be certainly questioning how he tackles the remaining overs. Poor fielding again. Ball went to long off, and Jonah Watts certainly didn't attack it, and the batsmen were able to scamper back for 2. So disappointing.
So Neil Smith, he is favouring that drive down mid-off at the moment. So 2 runs. Score now is 3-4, 71 in the 12th over. This ball's outside off stump, hit through extra cover. They'll get a couple more here at least. It's to the right of Jake Williams. So Neil Smith getting another couple, so he started brightly. Moves to 8 off the 4 balls. 3 for 73. 1 ball left. Now in the 12th over. Oh, that's got through him as well. to the keeper. So got through everybody, I think. How did it miss the stump, says young Elliston Buckley, but it's a dot ball.
Well, I think he's still asking. It was a dot ball. They're looking at whether it was perhaps a missed stumping opportunity, but, well, it's a bye, I think.
So we've got some other games on today. And we'll try and keep you up to date with them as the day goes on. So a full round of 2020 games. So this time it's Jake Dixon coming in, and Allenby launches down the ground. Now this could be out. It's going a long way. It just bounces over the head there, the fieldsman of Ben Spinks, and into the boundary. I think he might have slightly misjudged that one.
Yeah, we were a little obscured by the sight screen here, but the ball landed just before the boundary. So, yes, it's something he's misjudged. And
Allenby up to 33. Next delivery. Oh, it's just back to the bowler. Just almost gets him on the half volley. Dixon on the left hand. He threw it out there. Just might have taken the pace off that delivery a little bit. He missed time there from Allenby.
it was only inches away from a return catch. There's a bit happening, Dave.
He is. Ended up being a dot ball. So 3 for 77. Next one from Dixon to Allenby. Hits, doesn't time this one. They might get 2 out to deep extra cover, they will. Fielded there by Wood. Ball back into the bounce to Dixon. So, good battle here.
I hope the Raiders batsmen are noticing what's going on. There's all sorts of opportunities for twos to be pushing the ball into the outfield and running well.
Dixon again, right arm over. Advances this time Allenby, but gets the ball in the full. It's a few times he's tried to hit through mid-wicket. I think he's better off playing straight, is Allenby. He tries to hit it to mid-wicket. He seems to miss them quite regularly.
Yeah, well, that was a full toss. He's been in for long enough now to believe that he would have collected that. But Dixon again proving to be deceptive.
This one's hit powerfully through the covers. That's a beautiful shot in between cover and mid-off. There's no doubt about result there. That's one of the shots of the day so far, Richard.
Well, there's nothing too deceptive about that one for him. He certainly middled that, and to the extra cover boundary it went. 39
runs now off 29 deliveries for Allenby. Score up to 3 for 83. So a little bit of acceleration happening here. There's still got plenty of wickets in hand. 7 overs after this last ball from Jake Dixon. Oh, beauty that was. It was angling in and then seamed away through to Elliston Buckley, and it deceived the batsman there. Beaton all ends up. A great way to finish the over.
It's a terrific surface, but it does seem that there's still a little bit there, if the bowlers are able to find that nagging length.
So game between Newtown and Newtown and Lindisfarne, and Newtown 8 for 123 off their 20 overs. So that's a interesting score there. 3 wickets to Maher, 2 each to Wilkie and Chapman for Lindisfarne. So a score there from the Lindisfarne Newtown game. Brandon King, 4 overs on the trot here. Little late cut, well fielded. Well chopped off there, Neil Smith. They might come back for second. They don't. James Beattie.
Now that's the fielding, that's the intensity that we're after. It was a good stop, and then Beattie was up in a flash, and not only stopped the second, but almost created a run-out opportunity. So I hope his mates are paying attention to that endeavour.
Next one from King. It's agricultural shot, not timed there by Allenby. No run. Score 3 for 84 in the 14th over.
I see Ben Spinks warming up at short fine leg. He'll be looking to turn around his fielding effort. He's been disappointing in the field today, but he bowls good seam-up deliveries and might be difficult to get hold of.
Another dot ball there from King to Allenby. He's playing good lines at the moment. Going round the wicket, in at the batsman. This one's outside off stump. It's edged. It's going to clear the fieldsman there in Beattie. Now it's a race to the boundary. I think Beattie will just get there. He does. They probably go for the third run here as Neil Smith turns now. But good fielding there. This time shot there from Allenby. But he gets the 3 runs, which is the most important thing from Clarence's point of view at this point in the game. 3 for 87. 39 off 31 now, Allenby. Beg your pardon, 42 off 32. Neil Smith 9 off 6. Next ball from King, this time to Neil Smith. He goes back in defence, plays it back along the pitch. So last ball coming out for Brandon King, 1 for 20, his figures. It's pretty impressive. This one's a bit shorter, and he's beaten. It's inside the wide line, is it? Yep, it's over. It's a dot ball.
And a good spell.
So an outstanding spell there from Brandon King after 14 overs at 3 for 87. And 1 for 20 in a T20 game against a batting lineup like Clarence is a fair effort.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be well pleased with his work today. And as we thought, it is to be Ben Spinks from the Invermay Park end to bowl over number 15, Dave.
Yep. So, new bowler. What can you tell us about Ben Spinks and his bowling?
Well, Ben's a boy from the northwest, but has been attending Scotch Oakburn College for the last couple of years. He also went away in the under-19s to Western Australia. I think he would have now finished his Year 12. Not sure what his plans are for this calendar year in terms of work or study, but he's a likely type. He presents a little like Glenn McGrath.
Okay.
Not suggesting for a moment that he's necessarily
made
got
the
that
call,
in front of him.
Richard. You made the call.
But here he is. Let's see how he goes.
Ben Spinks into Harry Allenby, who misses this one outside the off stump. Nice bit of pace there.
There we go. Now
Nice bit of zip off the wicket.
I stand by my
Stand by your
Glenn
comment.
McGrath comment there. Yes, he did stand up nice and high and did get the ball to do a little bit away from the batsman off what is a test match length. That was gold there.
We've seen a lot of seam and bounce from this end. I mean, admittedly we've had a bit of spin from the other end, but in the right areas, you're going to get that little bit of movement off the wicket.
Yes.
Ben Spinks, second delivery. Allenby, this is short. Cut away, finds the gap between third man and deep cover. And no mistake there, 4 runs.
Maybe only 1 ball in 2 is Glenn McGrath like. Yeah. I think we lost the similarity that time.
46 now, so not far away from a half-century year for Allenby. We well deserved. It's off to 34 balls.
It looks like we've got the old football boundary umpire rule in place there. No one's able to jump over the fence to get it. The players have to go. But they've retrieved the ball. It is now back to Spinks at the top of his mark.
Still got the thick smoke here. Been with us all day. So probably almost at its worst at the moment is Spinks. This time to Allenby. In the air, it's not going to make it down a deep mid-on. Just a wristy sort of shot. Neil Smith wants a second, but it's not going to happen as Beattie fields there in the deep.
And good awareness from Beattie there. He saw that the batsman Neil Smith was looking to come back and in fact sort of ventured halfway back down the wicket. Beattie threw it the extra distance back to the wicketkeeper's end, and it's the sort of thing that, especially late in a T20 innings, can create a bit of confusion. So good awareness there from James Beattie, a good cricket mind he has. Well, a very bright boy. In fact, I think his TAS score at the end of school a couple of years ago was something like 99.75, which makes him probably brighter than you and I together, Dave.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. As Spinks comes in, as Neil Smith moves around the crease to the offside, then misses the ball as he tries to hit it through mid-wicket. So dot ball, so tidy over so far from Spinks, none for 5 off the 4 deliveries. Happy with that start. So South Hobart, Sandy Bates getting the 90 off their 20 overs today. 4 for 90, which is an unusual T20 score. Kingston 42 and Hine 31. A slow going there. There's the next ball. It's hit across the line a little bit by Neil Smith, but it's a beautiful shot because it's going to go out towards the boundary at backward square leg. Gee, there were a lot of wrists, a lot of subcontinental wristiness in that shot from Neil Smith.
Yeah, there was. Williams was at mid-wicket on the boundary and very often you would expect at this stage of an innings to have the square leg boundary covered, but Neil Smith was clearly aware that gap was there, and again Williams, there was no chance to cut that off.
So 1 ball left in the 15th over. 3-4-96, Allenby on 47 now. He's at the non-striker's end as Neil Smith this time goes down the ground powerfully. Down to deep mid off. It gets through the fieldsman there in Wood. And it goes through to the boundary. So a big finish to the over there from Lawrence Neil Smith. He moves up now to 17. Allenby 47 after 15 overs. It's 3 for 100. Back in a moment.
Without leaving your armchair, you can visit all corners of the planet, thanks to Around the World on City Park Radio. With music from Argentina to Zimbabwe, in every style you can imagine, Around the World gives you an endless selection of sound. Take a trip around the world. Sundays at 5 on City Park Radio.
Well, Richard, some nice round figures there. 15 overs, 3 for 100. 7 wickets in hand. I think they might be looking at hopefully one on their point of view, the Clarence point of view, 140, 150.
Yes, they would be. They're probably looking at 150. But anything around there, if we could get off to a start, then we'd have to be a chance. It looks like there's been a difficulty here with the ball. It's been retrieved now. Umpire Simon Stebbings. Anyway, Umpire Simon has had to have a bit of a look at it, make sure that it's still in good condition. It seems that it is.
And we've got Jonah Watts into the attack, the Englishman.
Watts to bowl. Can't tell you a whole lot about Watts' bowling. Right arm off spin, I think.
So he's up against a couple of really established players here in Allenby and Neil Smith. Harry Allenby on the 47 at the moment. And that's what coming off 35 balls. Neil Smith 17 off 11. So good partnership here.
Perhaps a bit surprising that Watts is bowling in front of Cooper Anthus.
Yeah.
But,
well, here he goes.
Here we are.
Right arm over the wicket. Not a bad first ball. Uppish by Allenby. Now they might turn for 2 here. He's just taken the pace off the ball with a shot, shy at the stumps, but I think he was through anyway, Neil Smith. So 2 runs there to Allenby, takes him up to 49.
Just having a little bit of difficulty here, judging where to be to maximise the chance of avoiding that second run.
Watts smashed down the ground by Allenby. That'll be his 50. He might get a couple more runs here as they turn. Neil Smith does well again, but that's the 50 for Harry Allenby. Well deserved.
Well played.
And that's coming off 37 deliveries. So good strike rate. He's been around that 130 strike rate all day. So well done to the Clarence veteran Harry Allenby. Next ball, Watts. It's smashed down the ground again. They only get the 1 this time. It's fielded in the deep. It's very hard to see the fieldsman through the smoke haze. Goes Brandon King down there. Took a sharp catch early on to get rid of Dan Salpietro. Neil Smith on strike. 3-4-105 in the 16th over. There's one Watts. Oh, he's beaten as he tries to hit through mid-wicket. Across the line. So nice delivery there from Jonah Watts. He's pushing the ball through.
Yeah, it's quite flat leg spin, but he's landing them well. So no easy runs thus far.
Right arm over. Plane goes overhead. Nice little late cut there from Neil Smith. Down towards Beattie. He picks it up in the left hand. They turn but can only get the 1. Sharp fielding there from James Beattie. 1 more to Neil Smith. He goes up to 18. Harry Allenby 52. 3-4-106.
Good over so far, conceding just 5, or is that 6?
6. 6 off the 5 balls. How will he finish off? A little bit of bounce there. Wowzers, that really bounced through shoulder high to the keeper standing up, Elliston Buckley. Missed the ball, did Harry Allenby. He tried to hit through mid-wicket. End of the over. Tidy over from Jonah Watts. 1 over, none for 6. And after 16 overs, 3-4-106.
Looks like just the 1 over for Spinks. James Beattie to resume. So he has 2 overs, so he could bowl out from this end. And obviously that leaves Captain Barnard with just the decisions as to what to do from the southern end. But on the strength of Watts' first over, he may well give him at least 1 more.
So just a pleasant 22 degrees here, but it's not so pleasant with the smoke that we've got around at the moment. It's blanketing a lot of the eastern seaboard of Australia.
Most unusual conditions in Launceston to have this smoke, especially when the wind, there's a reasonable amount of wind.
Yep. So as the volume of it, says Beattie round the wicket. Well, that's a full toss. It's a poor delivery. And I think the umpire at square leg has got the outreached arm to say it's a no ball.
Yes, yeah, really, really expensive. And Beattie's a little disappointed with that call. And Neil Smith's a tall man, so it certainly was marginal. But the umpires have called it. So it will be a free hit. The batsmen have changed ends. Captain can move the field when the batsmen have changed ends, and he's doing that now. He's taking a mid-wicket fielder, an extra fielder, out to the boundary. So there's only one leg side fielder now inside the circle, and that's the man behind square leg.
So 3-4-108 is the score. Allenby on strike. And this one hits him on the pad. It's a free hit there, so no damage done. Dot ball.
He did well to limit the damage.
Yep. 3-4-108. 16.1 overs. Beattie a bit expensive in his first spell. So he's now got the 1 for 21 in the third over.
Young Quinn Elliott, son of committee man Craig Elliott, running some water around to the players. Well
around the
received.
wicket, Beattie, that's a good ball right in the block hole, and Allenby can just bunt it back to the bowler. So after a wayward first delivery, he's right back online.
Love to see that, Dave. The interest from youngsters.
Yep, absolutely.
See the visibility of what's available in the cricketing pathway, and following the adult players.
What do you make of Beattie coming around the wicket, Richard?
Again, to just cramp him up and close down the options.
Oh, he goes the ramp and he gets it off the toe of the bat, I think. Gets it to square leg for a single.
I'll get you to describe the ramp shots, Dave. Not ones that I'm au fait with.
Well, he's obviously seen there's no fine leg.
Yep.
And so, if it comes off, it's a good shot. But I think he just right off the toe of the bat.
Yes, when you're into the 17th over, as we are, I guess there's extra permission to get yourself set and to premeditate a shot. Not a bad option, as you say, especially when the fielder was up.
3-for-109, round the wicket to Neil Smith. Beattie, full toss over the top of mid-wicket. No ball called this time. They'll get a couple as it goes out. Oh, nearly a misfield there. Just keeps it in the field of play as Ben Spinks. They think about a third, but eventually he limits it just to the 2 runs. But I tell you what, that was on the limit again of the no ball waist high.
Better fielding from Spinks that time. Shows a good line to the ball and saved 2. Critical the fielding in the last few overs. The batsman certainly will push to get back at every opportunity.
As this ball's shorter, pulled beautifully through the gap there, just backward of square leg. That's one of the shots of the day so far from Lawrence Neil Smith, and just erred on the short side there.
Just Beattie having a little bit of difficulty finding rhythm and finding a length. That was absolutely clobbered behind square leg.
The timing in that, you just love to hear that sound off the bat, don't you? It was,
unless you're in the fielding side, Dave. But yes, it was a pure sound.
And he's made some handy runs for Tassie this year in a couple of important partnerships, Lawrence Neil Smith. So, as often with first-class players, they bat a lot higher in their grade teams.
Yep, correct. So a bit of an adjustment here to the field. The mid-wicket fielder is going back to the boundary again.
Left arm around. This one's right on the stumps. And
Well
he tries to
bowled
turn the
that
leg
time.
side. That was a good comeback. Diving save there from Beattie. So a bit of a licorice all sorts that over, Richard. Some great bowling, some loose bowling.
I like the last ball better than the first few. The batsman went to the leg side. Beattie was able to follow him and cramped him up.
3 overs, 1 for 28 for James Beattie. Now, what's the decision? It looked like quite deservedly, I think, Jonah Watt's getting another over.
Yep, that's right.
He's an Englishman, Jonah, Richard?
Yes, he is. I'm not sure where from. He's thick of accent and a big, strong lad. I had to break out the extra large playing shirt today to accommodate him. So big, strong lad, and he does hit the ball very powerfully. So if he could get away for a few overs today, that would no doubt take us away to chasing these runs.
3 for 115 as Jonah Watts bowls. This might be 6. That's hit through mid-wicket beautifully. Clears the boundary.
Oh, that was a terrific strike. That was 6 anywhere, Dave.
Absolutely. Harry Allenby races up to 59. And the sweet sound once again off the bat. And it's gone right over the fence there at mid-wicket.
So hit from the northern end down towards the old
Eastern Terrace, yep.
Yeah, the Eastern Terrace.
Railway wing.
The railway wing.
Yep.
So it was straighter than mid-wicket, but pierced the gap well. It wouldn't matter if it didn't pierce the gap because it cleared the fence, not just the boundary rope.
Lots of wickets in hand now for Clarence. Next ball, hit down at mid-on. Slightly flat bat style. Going to turn for a second. This will be close. Good fielding. He shies at the stumps from a slightly wide throw. Does Jonah Watts. He can't hit the stumps, so they make it through for the 2. And,
It was a legitimate run-out chance, that one. So good fielding from young Anthus.
3 for 123. Next one's a bit shorter. Hit to mid-wicket, not timed. But they just get over the infield, does Allenby. So he's going to turn for 2 again. So luck's a fortune there, but it... 10 runs now off 3 deliveries in this over. So with wickets in hand, the accelerator's been pushed. 3 for 125. Allenby 63. Neil Smith is 25. Over the wicket comes Watts. Hits to mid-wicket again. It's not going to make it to the boundary this time. Chance for a catch. Comfortably taken in the outfield. And that's the end of a fine hand there.
Sam O'Mahony.
Sam O'Mahony takes the catch. End of a fine hand there from Harry Allenby. That was 63 off 44 deliveries.
Looks like Sam Rainbird, the incoming batsman, left arm bowler and powerful striker of the ball. But a fine innings from Allenby.
Absolutely. Yep. And started to accelerate the scoring there. Had to do so. Lots of wickets in hand. So fine catch, straightforward catch at this level, but they've got to be taken.
Yeah,
a long time to think about it.
Yeah, he did have a long time. He held in the air, and I guess he ran 15 metres from his position on the mid-wicket boundary, parked himself under the ball and held it well.
So he's indeed Sam Rainbird coming to the crease. Experienced first-class player, so has played T20. So next ball here from Jonah Watts. And the batsman crossed while the ball was in the air. So Neil Smith hits himself a single. 4 for 126. Wind's still a bit blustery here at TAS Stadium. Sam Rainbird now prepares to take his first ball from Jonah Watts. Has a 1 wicket for 17. Rainbird hits it to cover. He's gone. First ball duck for Sam Rainbird. Hit it straight to the cover fieldsman there in Oliver Wood. And a second wicket for Jonah Watts.
Yeah, he's bowled well. He got away from him a little bit at the start of that over, but he's of course come back well with two wickets in the over. So yeah, well done him, and a nice tidy catch for Ollie Wood at a classic cover position. So 2 overs left, Dave. 126 on the board. The Raiders would be reasonably happy with their their work. And Captain Barnard has gone back to Jake Dixon to bowl the 19th over. So that's a great responsibility for a young fella. And of course, there's a reward for or an opportunity following his earlier overs, 2 for 12, 2 overs for 12, no wickets, but 2 overs for 12. As we hear Sam Rainbird's disappointment when he when he gets into the. I'm not sure if that would have made its way to the listeners, Dave.
Let's hope not. Disclaimer if it did. You can't control such things. 4 for 120, 5 for 126. A couple of wickets in the last over. So Jake Dixon now. New batsman, by the way, is Matt Bevan. As Neil Smith plays this on the onside for a single.
Bevan moved at least a metre outside off stump then before Dixon was even in his delivery stride. Of course, a reasonably common sight nowadays, but just a few years ago that would have been cause for some alarm.
Jake Dixon's been once again impressive today. Second ball of the over, this time to Bevan. They bowled him! First delivery, and another golden duck. That's 2 golden ducks we've seen in the last couple of overs. As Bevan tried to turn it into the onside, and it's cannon into his off stump. And a good reward there from young Jake Dixon, who's bowled a fine spell once again today. And Matt Bevan leaves the scene for a duck. And all of a sudden, it's 6 for 127.
Yeah, they've stuck to the guns really well, and I'm thrilled for Jake Dixon. He is just presenting and presenting. He's had the opportunity 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he's absolutely grasped it. He would be learning and growing from this experience exponentially, and this is exactly the reason that Cricket Tasmania and some interested cricket people from the north of the state have worked hard to present the opportunity for the Raiders. He's
come from virtual obscurity now to performing well at this level.
There we go. Now he'll be able to take his experiences back to his home club on the northwest coast, and cricket, as they say, will be the winner, Dave.
As it's Damien Paul on strike to Jake Dixon, and he hits in the air. It's coming down here towards the player there in Ben Spinks. Gets you on the bounce, and they come through for 2. But risky shot first up from Damien Paul.
Yes, it was
holding back.
It was in the air for a long time, and from where we are, Dave, it looked like it was going to be a chance, but Spinks moved well to it, and was just a couple of metres short.
Jake Dixon, once again to Damien Paul, who showed his intent first up. This one, he tries to play it down the ground and gets the bottom edge of the bat. Goes out to square leg to Jake Williams. They won't trust his, they won't test his arm as he gets it in beautifully. Just the one run there to Damien Paul through square leg. Lawrence Neil Smith back on strike on 27. It's 6 for 130. We have 8 deliveries remaining. So it's an interesting total, Richard. This last 8 balls will, I reckon, be critical in this game.
Yes, it's not. Even if they got to 145 or 50, it's not out of the question. Well, clearly we would have to bat well, but we've done well here.
This time Neil Smith on strike, smashes it down to deep mid on, and the fielding done there by Ben Spinks. So no real damage done there with just another single. 28 off 20 for Neil Smith. 28 off 20. So striking pretty well there at 140. So a flurry of wickets in the last few overs. Allenby, Rainbird and Bevan. As this time Dixon, he's beaten. He aims a big drive. Head was in the air there from Damien Paul. Good tight bowling there from Dixon. And he finishes with 3 overs, 1 for 17.
Oh, well, that's tidy work, isn't it? He won't bowl the 4th because the 20th over is coming up.
Yep.
But he would be well pleased with his contribution today, and I'm sure he will have really appreciated the opportunity to have his game today at UTAS Stadium.
Now they've gone back to Sam O'Mahony for the last over.
Yeah, and as I said before, Sam's prepared to throw in these variations, so he's a good option for the last over.
3 overs, 1 for 15 so far,
yes,
so very tidy.
Yeah.
Been a pretty good contribution from all the bowlers. Young Spinks then went for 13 off the 1 over, but you showed some signs.
Yeah, look, Spinksy probably was a bit rattled by a couple of his fielding experiences, and he started off well, but went for 13. James Beattie would be disappointed with his 3rd over. Amani certainly has bowled well, as has Ollie Wood. Brandon King we liked, didn't we?
Yep.
We've already spoken about young Jake Dixon. He's done really well. And Watts was good, bowling at a difficult time and picking up 2 for 17 off his 2 overs.
Okay, the last over, Lawrence Neil Smith on strike to Sam Omani. This one's short, hits it in the air, goes straight in the air, should be a comfortable catch, and it is. So Lawrence Neil Smith is caught there by Miles Barnard, the skipper, and well bowled there, Sam Omani, and a good handy knock there, Lawrence Neil Smith. He scored the 28 runs off the 20 deliveries.
Well, it's really been Neil Smith and Allenby who've been the thorns for the Raiders today. They've both batted well. We've managed to keep everyone else in check pretty nicely. So it's valuable that we were able to take Neil Smith's wicket, still with 5 balls remaining, and only, but 131 on the board. If we could keep them to under 140. I think we'd go into the sheds, pleased with their opportunity.
And I think it's Ned Absalom who's come to the crease. The batsman crossed, and it's another wicket, straight to mid-wicket. Pitched up there by Omani, and the batsman crossed after the last dismissal. So it's another wicket there, and Omani now on a hat-trick.
Yes, and I noticed Dad Dion Omani down in front of us here, going for the phone, texting away, no doubt alerting his family that that young Sam's on a hat-trick. Great reward for him, well done.
Okay, so players coming in thick and fast now. So Ned Absalom is in, number 36. He'll be at the non-strikers end.
Now, what's Barnard to do? Does he change the field around a little bit to maximise the chance of a hat trick? Or
I think he just stays the same. I think
looks like there's not too much movement. So the field is the same. The batsman on strike is the only one busy at the moment.
It's a great comeback from the Raiders, Richard. 8 for 131, and not so long ago they've about 4 wickets in no time here.
Yep.
After that really good partnership between Allenby and Neil Smith. So Alex Trainer. Oh, what do you reckon?
Trainer,
we'll go with that.
Yep.
Someone will correct us, I'm sure. As Omani comes into Trainer. Oh. That's on the stumps. Which gasps. Let's head out to the offside for a single.
It was a good place to bowl your hat-trick ball. It was at the top of off, and the batsman needed to defend it to avoid the hat-trick. So, well done, Omani. His figures now 3.3 overs, 3 for 16, if you don't mind.
Now, Ned Absalom on strike, and I played with Ned's dad, Graham.
Yes.
For the Newbina Cricket Club. Back in 1998, we won the premiership against Denali. Great memories.
Well done, Dave.
There you go. So, young Ned.
Got some short scores for us?
Yeah, I only got one. As he comes and hits it through the onside. Great shot by Absalom.
Come on, Jake.
Get 2 here as Jake gets to it now. He flicks it up back towards Beattie.
Oh.
And so they might get the 3rd run now as the ball went a bit far away. But a nice shot there from Ned Absalom, getting the 3 runs.
Well, there was plenty of action in the field there. Williams had to stretch at full length and stopped it. But then he knocked it to James Beattie, who had a lot of difficulty picking it up. And all the while, the batsman scampered back for 3.
So 8 for 135, 2 balls remaining. So probably around a par score here. So it's going to be a great afternoon's entertainment. Stick with us here on City Park Radio and via the live stream. Is Omani this time to Trina. Hits it nicely through the offside. Out towards Jonah Watts. They'll double up here for 2. Good ball 2 from Omani. It was right pitched up. Difficult one to hit away. But Trina was equal to it. So Trina on 3. And Absalom on 3. 8 for 137. 1 ball remaining. In comes Omani to Trainer. This one's short, hits to the onside. Might have picked the gap here. It's running out towards the boundary. It's gaining pace. And the fieldsman keep it in. I think he thinks he has. So they might even run 4 here. They're going to try, and they do. They get the 4 runs all run. So amazing seeing there that last ball. So finishing there with 4 runs off the last delivery of the 20 overs was Alex Traynor. So 8 for 141 is the score that the Raiders will be chasing. And just to reflect there, Richard, in the 15 overs, it was 3 for 100. So just the 41 runs for 5 wickets in that last 5 overs. So a good finish to the Raiders, but a competitive score from Clarence.
Yeah, look, as you say, I think that's about par. We won't know, of course, until both sides have batted. But the Raiders had come off pretty pleased with their bowling, or very pleased with their bowling. At times in the field, we seem to lack a little bit of awareness about when we needed to attack the ball and how deep we needed to be to maximise the chance of avoiding that second run. So perhaps a little bit disappointing in the field, whilst there were some good catches held. The ground fielding perhaps could have been polished up, but yeah, well done with the bowlers.
Okay, let's go quickly through the scorecard before we break for some news here on City Park Radio. So Sal Pietro caught King, bowled Beattie for 4. Allenby was caught Omani, bowled Watts for 63. Jones bowled Omani for 5. Irvine was bowled King for 23. Neil Smith caught Barnard, bowled Omani for 28. Rainbird caught Wood, bowled Watts, no score. Bevan bowled Dixon, no score. Paul was caught Barnard, bowled Omani for 3. Absalom not out for 3, and Trina not out for 7. 8 for 141 was a score. Bowling figures: Beattie 3 overs, 1 for 28. Omani outstanding 4 overs, 3 for 25. Oliver Wood 3 overs, none for 21. Brandon King 4 overs, 1 for 20. Jake Dixon 3 overs, 1 for 17. Ben Spinks the 1 over for 13 runs, and Jonah Watts a handy 2 overs, 2 for 17. So just repeating the final score: 8 for 141. We're going to take some national radio news now here on City Park Radio. We're back with you in about 5 minutes or so.
National Radio News.
Hello, I'm Shannon Kirkwood. 2 people have died in a fire on South Australia's Kangaroo Island, while fire activity is increasing across New South Wales and Victoria amid increasing temperatures and strengthening winds. The deadly blaze continues to burn on Kangaroo Island, having destroyed more than 100,000 hectares since it started 2 weeks ago. It's forced evacuations and many properties are feared destroyed. SA Premier Stephen Marshall is encouraging people to leave the island.
This is a very dangerous situation on Kangaroo Island, and please stay alert to what is going on the island and Bay.
on
No worries.
Renegades.
No worries, Chris.
In the A-League today, Wellington Phoenix playing the Mariners and Sydney FC takes on Adelaide United. And repeating the lead for the hour, 2 people have died in a fire on South Australia's Kangaroo Island, while fire activity is increasing across New South Wales and Victoria.
You're up to date with National Radio News.
Community Radio is listener-supported radio. We're City Park Radio, 103.7, 96.5 FM.
Welcome back to TAS Stadium. You're listening to City Park Radio, 103.7, 96.5, and the Clarence boys are just out there doing their warm-ups, getting ready to bowl. Just repeating the score, if you just joined us, Clarence made 8 for 141 off their 20 overs. The standout scorers there, Harry Allenby 63 off 46, Wade Irvine 23 off 31, and Lawrence Neil-Smith 28 off 21. All other players were in single figures. The standout partnership was a partnership of 60 there between Neil-Smith and Allenby for the 4th wicket. Bowling a few wicket takers here, so Beattie 1 for 28, Omani 3 for 25, King 1 for 20, Dixon 1 for 17, and also Watts 2 for 17. So they were the major wicket takers there. Just a few around the grounds situations here. We've got 3 games in progress today in the Cricket Tasmania Premier League first grade competition, and Newtown made 8 for 123 up against Lindisfarne. Owen made 54 and Randall 25, and for Lindisfarne, Ma took 3 for 16, Wilkie 2 for 35, and Chapman 2 for 21. In reply, Lindisfarne a little bit of trouble, 6 overs, 3 for 34, and a couple of wickets there to Owen for Newtown. In the 3rd game that's underway today, that's the one between, in fact there's 4 games underway today, to beg your pardon, Kingborough and South Hobart Sandy Bay. South Hobart Sandy Bay made 4 for 90 off their 20 overs. At one stage they were 4 for 12. Good partnership from Kingston and Hine, got them up to 4 for 90. 3 for 17 there for Trent Keep. Outstanding effort. In reply, Kingborough cruising, none for 58 off the 9 overs, with Shelton on 20 and Backhouse on 34. The other game underway is North Hobart versus Uni. And in that game, Uni made 8 for 114 off their 20 overs. And the highest score there was Van der Werken with 23. And major wicket takers there, Davis 2 for 22 and May 2 for 19. In reply, North Hobart cruising also none for 43 off the 6 overs, with Doran on 19 and Davis on 16. So that brings you up to date with all the games at the moment in the Cricket Tasmania Premier League 2020 competition. And let's cast our mind back here now, Richard. It's a tough task for the Raiders, but they've put themselves in with a chance with a strong bowling and fielding effort.
Look, they have. If we bat sensibly and value our partnerships, then there's no reason why we can't be close to this total. There's a little bit in the wicket, but the outfield is lightning fast, and because it's a bigger ground than the mini club venues, if we can get the ball into the outfield, then the opportunities for 2s without risk are great. So, it is well set up, and we have to approach this as if we're a realistic chance. Of course, Barnard and Williams to open the batting, and Miles Barnard, after a really excellent match last time out, will be looking to capitalise and go on.
And of course, the key I think for the Raiders will be, players you can't see off bowlers in this competition because you've got they've got all bowl 4 overs, but to blunt the effectiveness, I suppose, of Rainbird and Neil Smith, who are the 2 big guns there, the opening bowlers, or top 4 bowlers for Tasmania. So they'll be the keys, I think, for Clarence in the defence of this total. Got
to give yourself a chance, but still look to keep the scoreboard ticking over. But full face of the bat against those guys, and target your 1 or 2 bowlers that you can get to. Special shout out, Dave, if I can. I've just noticed that there's some members of our women's team are down enjoying the game today. We've got Sophie Parkin down there, and Amy Duggan and Meg Radford have all lapped up the opportunity that's been presented this year for the women to join the Premier League, and of course they're going really well, taking all before them and playing beautifully.
Yep, and when you look at some of the players they've been up against, some fantastic players that have played, with Hurricanes and that sort of thing. So, once again, it's that experience for those young female cricketers.
Well, and like the men, of course, a lot of the quality and the talent, is of and from the northern half of the state. So it's terrific that the women haven't had to wait as long as the men had to wait for their opportunity, and they are certainly have invested really well in the opportunity to play Premier League cricket. So well done them.
And we talk about it's not all about winning for the Raiders, but the women are really in a big chance of making that T20 final, aren't they?
Oh yes, yes. We have high expectations of the women, and we have an under-18 side playing some vacation competition games in January. So our expectations of both the under-18s and the senior women's are that yes, they'll be there and thereabouts for finals, and of course that only serves to put even more of a spotlight on the potential for the northern half of the state to be a necessary and valuable part of the pathway for Cricket Tasmania.
Now, it looks like Harry Allenby is going to open. Obviously, very experienced player.
Crafty.
Yep. He's a defending Rodwell medalist and experienced spinner. And of course batted really well today, so yeah, interesting move. Yeah,
he bowls left arm orthodox, and of course it's often difficult for opening batsmen to start against slow bowling, so it's a tactic used often in T20 cricket. Sometimes it's not what the openers are expecting and not what they're used to. So interesting to see if Jake Williams can rotate the strike early. He's had some difficulty this season in rotating. First ball about to be bowled.
Allenby that's Williams on strike, and he hits it through point area and gets himself a single to the sweeper over there. So good start there from Williams. He started the season slowly, Richard, but he's had a few scores of late.
Yeah, he
boosted his confidence.
Yeah, look, he did start slowly, which was a shame. He worked very hard in the off-season. We thought he was well set.
It's a long way to go in this season, though, as Barnard flashes it through the offside, in the air for a while, but it's safely out to the sweeper. So 2 deliveries, 2 runs.
Barnard, a different sort of player than Williams. He will look to find the boundary early, and if he comes off, we'll be well on the way to a win.
Next ball from Allenby. Advancing this time is Williams. They take on the fielder, and they do it comfortably, as it's fielded there by Wade Irvine. So another single. A positive start. So Barnard, this time through the onside. He wasn't totally in control of that shot. A little bit off balance, but he gets it through for a single. So 2 apiece to Williams and Barnard. 4 singles off the 4 deliveries so far. Hope you're enjoying our coverage here of the Cricket Tasmania Premier League 2020 competition on City Park Radio, 103.7 and 96.5. As the next one, Allenby. And Williams just goes forward in the covers. He judges it nicely. Gets himself another single. Good. It's up to none for 5.
Good busy start. Like to see in any format of the game the opening batters being busy.
Allenby, Barnard, who goes, and he could be out here, or that might be a difficult catch. Player getting underneath, takes a great catch, and that's a big breakthrough early on. I'll just have to pick up there who took the catch. He had to go backwards and take it over his head. It's never easy. That was a fantastic effort. It's the number 28 there. That's Damien Paul who's taken the catch.
Yeah, and it's exceptional catch. Just what the Raiders didn't want. Barnard wasn't to the pitch of the ball. Outside half of the bat. It skied to point over the head of the fieldsman, who ran with the flight of the ball. Looked like he might have been in strife, but held it really well. So a big blow for the Raiders early.
Don't like to be overcritical, but it scored the 5 runs off the over. There was probably no need for an extravagant shot such as that.
Well, especially when he didn't get to the to the pitch of it. But yeah, I mean that's right. Got a little bit more on it, and we'd have been applauding.
Yes, that's right, exactly right. Yeah, easy from up here.
Yeah.
So Sam O'Mahony batting at 3.
Been promoted up the order on the strength of his ball striking ability. He'll play the role similar to the way Barnard approached it. I just hope he can give himself a handful of deliveries just to to get himself in, but he does strike it well.
So Sam Rainbird, of course, opening bowl with Tassie. He's played with a couple of WBBL franchises over the journey. He hasn't got a contract this year. A little bit surprising because I've seen him bowl pretty well in that form of cricket. So he'll be desperate to do well in this competition. So Rainbird at the top of his mark. It's 1 for 5 here at TAS Stadium. Still smoke-shrouded oval here. First delivery into Omani. Ooh, that's pretty quick, and he's beaten outside the off stump. Doesn't quite make it through to the keeper. So a dot ball. So Sam Rainbird bowling left arm over. So 2 slips, so attacking field, Richard.
Yes, it's not often we see 2 slips in a T20 game, but
Slashes outside the off stump this time, does Omani, as Rainbird puts it out there.
Especially to the left-handed batsman, that Rainbird be looking to shape it away, and it's a good move from Captain Allenby to look to maximise his wicket taking early.
A couple of dot balls. It's 1 for 5. So Clarence making a big breakthrough, taking the early wicket there at Barnard, as the Raiders did. They took the early wicket of Sal Pietro, who's a damaging player. As Rainbird this time to Omani, same one outside the off stump, although this time it's a bit wider, and it's called a wide by the umpire. So 1 more to the score.
And Rainbird there, did the old teapot, hands on the hips, as if to say it couldn't possibly be wide, but well, clearly it was. The umpire said so. I had hoped that Rainbird, that Omani might take a couple of balls to have a good look. He's been swinging.
I mean, the field that said if he makes contact with one of those, it's going to be 4. Of course, in case otherwise he edges it, of course. As Rainbird this time to Omani, extravagant drive again, doesn't make contact. Good bowling by Rainbird, and it's a dot ball. This is the test for these young Raiders, isn't it, Richard? I know we've said it a few times today, but they're up against a bowler with the experience now of Sam Rainbird.
Oh,
they're
yes.
really testing themselves.
Yep. What they'll realise is if they can get in, then good surface, and they can play well. They can.
Oh, and that's a nice shot from Omani, or he might be caught. It's out here to deep mid-wicket. Lovely catch. So he contacted it well, but hit it straight to the fields when he probably had to move a little bit to his right, then dive. So it was a well-taken catch. But he was the only man in the outfit on the onside, and Omani has perished to the bowling of Rainbird. So I'll just try and pick up the player who's taken the catch over there. A nice catch, Richard. He had to move a fair way.
Yeah, it was well held. But, yeah, too much too early from the Raiders. New batsman, Cooper Anthus. I was surprised that he didn't bowl, but also surprised that he's batting at 4. But he's a busy player, and he and Williams now will need to repair and rebuild.
And it was Alex Traynor there who took that great catch in the outfield. So, yep, a bit of consolidation needs to go on now between these two. So Omani caught in the outfield by Traynor off the bowling of Rainbird. Batsman crossed, which has put Williams on strike. So second last ball of this second over, and Williams flashes outside the off stump. Can't make contact. He certainly made good contact with that shot, but there was only one man out there. And went straight, well, not straight to him, he had to move to his right a little bit, but yeah,
Good fielding, both catches well held, and that's of course critical in all cricket, but certainly in T20 cricket.
Rainbird to Williams, attacking field, and he's beaten outside the off stump. He just took the pace up there a little bit. So great over there from Sam Rainbird first up. And the score after 2 overs is 2 for 6. Not the start the Raiders wanted, Richard.
Certainly not. But we need to be busy whilst consolidating, and still plenty of opportunities. Harry Allenby just the 1 over, so Lawrence Neil-Smith to bowl from the Invermay Park end, and he's pretty sharp. So the boys will need to be on their mettle.
It's a great opportunity for young Cooper Anthys, who's represented Tassie, of course, at junior level. Riverside Cricket Club?
Riverside Cricket Club, and I'm really impressed with the way he goes about it. He's a real student of the game. He bats with great maturity, and he'll be looking to draw on that today.
So Sam Rainbird 1 for 1, Allenby 1 for 5, and Lawrence Neil-Smith into the attack. So the Raiders chasing 142 for victory. Clarence earlier made 8 for 141. Neil-Smith upright, approached the wicket, short outside the off stump, flashes out, it does Cooper Anthys, doesn't make any contact. So let's look at the field here. We've got 2 slips, a third man, point, cover, mid off, mid on.
Yes, it's more
square
like
leg.
Yes, it's a field that you would see in longer format cricket. It's with third man and fine leg on the fence. It's more of a classic field. As I say that, the cover fieldsman has been taken more towards point.
It's Lawrence Neil-Smith bowling from the northern end of TAS Stadium. This one's short and good. Gee, that got some bounce. Cooper Anthys tried to help it over the slips cordon, but taken by Jones at probably about collarbone height there. No run.
Yes, it was steepling bounce, wasn't it?
That's a good way of describing it, Richard, absolutely. And we've seen that a little bit today, especially from this end.
Yes.
And it was a different pitch the other night, but certainly Marcus Stoinis got sconed by the very pacey Riley Merritt there at one stage. Lawrence Neil-Smith to Anthys. And he aims a big drive, doesn't make contact through the keeper.
Yes, he went to drive that, but the ball was at hip height as it went through, so he was never going to be in control of it. Williams just coming down the wicket to offer a little bit of encouragement and support. The slightly older, more mature player, Jake Williams, would be 19, and Cooper Anthys still just 16. So
I think our drinks have arrived, Richard.
Drinks have arrived for the commentators.
Beautiful. And non-alcoholic, of course. We'll point that out. Here's water.
Committeeman Craig Elliott and his son Quinn.
Neil-Smith.
Thank you, boys.
Sorry, Richard, he got hit on the hand there, and he rings it as he goes up the pitch. He gets himself a single off the mark. He copped that right on the fingers. He's going to take the glove off. It was a ball that just nipped back in the line of off stump.
He's got the glove off still. It looks like it might have hurt him.
Yes.
No sign that he's going to, he's not going to resume. The bowler's on his way in again now to Williams.
Neil-Smith to Williams, who backs away a bit, hits it. Oh, that might have been a chance. Low down, I think it was there at point.
Might have been Rainbird, I think.
Let's have a look there. Yeah, I think it was Sam Rainbird indeed. So it was a tough chance. It was right at his bootlaces. It was going like a rocket.
A full-blooded cut shot, and it went straight to him. He just came forward a tiniest bit, but definitely a chance. And that's that area where they were adjusting the field a while ago. So they've got one man just backward of point and another one just in front of point. Really good field placement to Jake Williams, who loves to cut the ball through there. 2
for 7. Last ball, the third over. Neil-Smith to Williams. This is angled in. He can only hit it on the offside. Thinking of a single. Not there. End of the over. And a fine first over there from Neil-Smith. Just cost the 1 run. So the score is 2 for 7. Richard.
Can you see that the Clarence fielders are all over the batsman, looking to create a little bit of doubt and a run-out opportunity? Really good energy in the field just at the critical moments, whereas I thought that was perhaps the area of weakness for the Raiders. We just didn't seem to have that intensity early on, in the ring field.
Do you think they'll bowl Rainbird and Neil Smith in tandem just to try and make some inroads?
Well, whilst they're going this well, they'd be tempted to keep them going, which of course will make it difficult for our boys. 2 for 7 off 3. We really need to get just the scoreboard ticking over now.
Okay, so it's Sam Rainbird, 1 for 1 off his only over so far. He took the wicket of Omani. It was caught well in the deep by Trainer in the previous over. Left arm over to Cooper Anthys. He plays it nicely through the offside. Confident shot from the young man. Lost it in the cover field. It might go out the boundary for 4. It's going to be touch and go. And the fielder just overruns it, but gets it inside. And they come back for 3. So confident shot there from young Cooper Anthys.
Good strike. Over extra cover. And certainly looked as if it was headed for 4, but somehow pulled up. And, well played.
2 for 10.
It was in the air, but a legitimate cricket shot.
Yep.
No,
backed himself in the slot.
Risk.
Sam Rainbird. Left arm over. And this time Williams goes through mid-wicket. That's a nice shot as well. And that will go to the boundary. 1 bounce over the rope. So hits it nicely through mid-wicket. And so some momentum now in the Raiders innings after a slow start. So nice couple of strikes there. So Jake Williams.
Great shot, wasn't it? Look, he swung hard, but he was still in control, and I'm not sure that he got all of it, but it was still just 1 bounce. So really encouraging sign there.
Sam Rainbird, former Hurricanes and Sydney Thunder player. 46 first-class matches. Bowling average of 35.28, 132 wickets. This time Williams is a better delivery outside off stump. Fished at it, didn't make contact. And no run. So, you think the smoke's almost as bad as it's been, Richard?
No, I think it's marginally better.
Mm-hmm. Just can see the Myer building there.
Well, in the old Queen Victoria Hospital, is a bit more visible, I think.
Is that where you were born, Richard? It's hit round the onside. You might get a couple here from Jake Williams. Does it well. He paddles it round and gets himself 2 to the onside. Score goes up to 2 for 16.
Certainly was where I was born. And yourself, Dave?
No, I was born in Hobart. So.
I didn't know that. After all this time, you've revealed that you're actually a Hobartian.
I wasn't there for long, but anyway, another story.
So better over for the Raiders here.
Takes the pressure off. They've got the 9 off the 4 balls, and just been a bit short this over Sam Rainbird. What can he do here? It's a better line. Williams can just play it on the offside, and it's fielded there by Neil Smith. No run. So 2 for 16, and we mentioned before the resurfaced University of Tasmania Stadium come up a treat. It certainly looked good to a national audience the other night. A lot of comments about the standard of the outfield.
Oh, the outfield couldn't be better. I was talking to the head curator Brian this morning, and he was certainly pleased with the way it had come up. He was
Rainbird to Williams, and he gets this through backward point. Not where he meant it to go, I don't think, but he gets the 4 runs for it. A lovely shot there from Jake Williams, and he moves up now to 13. Anthys is 4, and after 4 overs, the score is now a respectable 20. The 2 wickets is a slight problem.
Yes, it is, but a good over consolidation, that one. And so if we
13 off.
Get through 3 or 4 more without the loss of further wickets, we're back on track, I think.
You mentioned the curator there, Richard, so he's happy with it?
Yeah, look, he is. He was explaining to me how much water has needed to be pumped on the grounds of the council, so he's clearly got responsibilities beyond this venue. But of course, I'm sure that every drop of water that's applied to UTAS Stadium is carefully monitored and measured and applied. They've got all of the good gear here, no doubt, and it looks an absolute treat.
Here comes Neil Smith, and bowls to Anthony, puts on the offside, thinks about a single. Sharp fielding there from Absalom, prevents the run.
There's a little bit of uncertainty between the wickets between these two, but again, Williams is coming down to have a bit of a talk to him now, just to try and calm him down, I think.
And we talk about the high-level cricket, there's the high-level fielding, the single that you might play at a lower level.
Correct.
When these guys are right on the ball in a millisecond. There's a sharp bit of fielding there from young Ned Absalom.
Yeah, Anthers is showing the right endeavour, but yes, you've got to be just...
Neil Smith comes into Anthony, he flashes out to the off stump, throws his head back.
Yeah, a little bit of extra bounce again that time is what undid him. Not surprising, of course. Neil Smith would be, 6'3" or 4 at least there, Dave, wouldn't he?
Probably bowling at 130, 135 maybe.
Yeah, a little bit sharper than what he's been faced with at NTCA level, of course.
Still the two slips in, and the power play, two outfielders at the moment, a fine leg and a third man. Lawrence Neil Smith, lanky figure, and he comes right arm over. Anthony's doesn't quite get onto this. He'll be caught a bit on. Comfortable catch there, Steve Wild. And it's another wicket there for the Raiders, just as they were starting to do a little bit of consolidation. Cooper Anthony's aims an ambitious drive, and he gets caught by Steve Wild. Another wicket for Clarence, for Lawrence Neil Smith.
Yeah, not quite the experience to have opted out of that big drive and perhaps looked to rotate the strike, rather than expecting to be able to hit that delivery over mid-on. So yeah, disappointing when 3 or 4 more overs without a wicket was what the doctor ordered.
3 for 20. And the batsman crossed there, so Jake Williams back on strike. The new batsman is Sam Elliston Buckley.
It is.
Young boy from Launceston Cricket Club.
Yes, a boy who started his sporting endeavours playing tennis and was going exceptionally well. I think attracted to the team aspects of cricket, and switched over some years ago. Launceston Church Grammar School.
From the cricket factory grammar there. As Neil Smith bowls this time to Williams, always caught on the crease. Muffled appeal for LBW as it falls out of the offside.
Yes, that's right. Of course, they've produced some terrific cricketers over the years at grammar school, and Jade Selby out there as coach now, continuing the tradition. John Bailey, of course, for
many years. How many first-class cricket that comes through?
George's dad was coach out there for a very long period of time and did an enormous job.
That's Neil Smith. This time to Williams, who cuts nicely but straight to the fielder, misfielded by Rainbird. Gets through his hands, so there'll be a single there for Jake Williams, who's up to 13. In fact, that's 14 he moves up to, beg your pardon.
Yes, who were the... in fact, a lot of the first-class professional cricketers from the north have come through the private schools. Certainly Scotch have had a couple, and some Pats as well. Right back to Bruce Doolan and co.
I think the first Shield side had 4 or 5. Bruce Doolan, Mick Norman, Steve Howard was certainly in that team. Tony Bennyworth.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, so there we go. There's Neil Smith in this time to the new batsman. That's Elliston Buckley, who I think he let that one go on the end just to get a bit of a sider. Wise decision. So at the end of 5 overs, the Raiders are 3 for 21. We'll take a short break. Back here in just a moment.
Andy Mitchell from Community Care.
So, Allenby's bowled well so far. And taking 2 wickets for 11. Took the wicket in the first over of Barnard. Nice catch in the outfield. And then had Ellison Buckley stumped earlier this over. Next one to Watts. Oh, he just flashes that one outside the off stump. It's another wide. So, another run to the score. And 4 for 28. We're in the 6th over. Allenby this time to Watts. He's a bit more circumspect into the offside. Gets himself a run. And there's one more ball left in the over. I was about to say you're going to keep the strike, but still one ball left. Watts up to 5. Williams 15, 4 for 29. So Allenby round the wicket to the right-handers. He comes now to Williams. Nice ball right on the money. And Williams just plays it to the onside. End of the over. A successful over there for Harry Allenby. And he's 2 overs, 2 for 13. It's 4 for 29 after 6 overs.
So that's the end of the power play. And, of course, Clarence will now take the opportunity to push another fielder or two outside of the inner circle, but still look to make it difficult for the Raiders to rotate the strike. Another bowling change, Dave, is it?
Yep. Looks like Alex Traynor, who took a fine catch in the outfield earlier on. He's going to come into the attack. So just as my binoculars hit the deck, some information there on Alex Traynor. He's a consistent pace bowler, he's taken wickets regularly each season, the first and the second. So I look forward to seeing him here today. He's going to be bowling from the northern end of the ground. Say something, Richard, while I retrieve my binoculars.
I hope your binoculars are okay.
I have to test to see whether they work. They hit the floor quite hard. They're out of focus. But no damage done, so that's
well
good.
Well done.
Taking a while to set his field here is Harry Allenby and Alex Traynor.
He's got two men on the boundary on the leg side, a fine leg and square leg, or forward square leg.
Power play is over as Jonah Watts plays the offside. Risky single side on Shy. To take the chance, I suppose, but he missed the stumps. So Jonah Watts gets another run. They're into the 30s. The Raiders 4 for 30, chasing 142. So runs-wise, it's not a disaster at the moment. But the 4 wickets down really hurts.
Yep.
Need to build a partnership here. And he's one of the men that can do it. This Traynor comes in to bowl this time to Williams, who gets a short ball, hits it to the onside. They might look for 2 here. Good fielding by Neil Smith, restricts it to 1. So 4 for 31. Jake Williams, 16 off the 20 balls so far. Beg your pardon, 18 balls so far. So nearly 100 strike rate. Traynor this time to Watts, who advances, then it's put wide. He looks back at the umpire for a wide, but not doing.
I think because he advanced, he might have denied himself. Has Traynor got a little bit of Bumrah about him as he starts his action here? A little bit of a shuffle and the ball held in both hands close to his chest?
Tall, athletic fast ball. Yeah, he's exactly right. In he comes now. If you're watching the stream, very Bumrah-like. Not so much the wind-up, and he's bowled him. I think he's played it on there. He got the big drive outside off stump, and Jonah Watts has chopped it onto the stumps. There's another wicket for the Raiders. Just as Jonah Watts was settling into his work, Traynor has struck. Disappointing, Richard?
Yep. Oliver Wood, next batsman, who I might have thought might have been in earlier. So certainly in need of a big partnership now.
Well, like a feet movement there, wasn't there, Richard? He just aimed a big drive.
Yeah, reached for it and got a good piece of it to drag it back onto his off stump by the look.
So Clarence now, each of their bowlers has now taken a wicket. 2 for 13 for Allenby, 1 for 14 for Rainbird, 1 for 2 for Neil Smith, now 1 for 2 for Alex Traynor. So Oliver Wood, 5 for 31 is the score. And we're just in the 7th over. Jake Smith holding the innings together so far. Opened up and is still there on 16. So he comes again, Trainer. And he's beaten outside the off stump here as Wood as he just leant forward defensively.
Yeah, Trainer seems to be able to find that length that we've referred to all day, where we think that there's, still a little bit in the wicket. That ball, I'm sure, stood up and just left the batsman, and Wood was beaten.
And he comes again, Trainer, this time, and Wood this time the cut shot, smuffled appeal for caught behind. No run, and that's the end of the over. End of 7 overs now, and it's 5 for 31. And Jake Williams is holding up the innings at the moment, Richard, and he's really going to have to carry them through from here.
5 for 31 is no good, no matter what format of cricket you're playing. So yes, Williams is he's held it together, but really, of course, we need him to go all the way through now to be any chance.
Harry Allenby is going to bowl his 3rd over. Of course, we're outside the power play, so there's lots of players on the boundary. With a deep square leg, deep mid wicket, deep mid on, mid off, and cover. As there's lots of singles, and Jake Williams takes one to the onside of the wicket. Himself his 17th run. And brings Oliver Wood onto strike. It's a matter of just trying to push around for 4 or 5 and over for a few overs, and then with wickets in hand try and launch.
Yes, well, that was the message from from me early, but yes, it's still the case. We've got no choice now because if we lose any more wickets, then it's game over. So they've got to go at 5s and 6s and minimise the damage.
Oh, and that was very close to bowling Oliver Wood as he went across the line,
which is exactly what Ollie hasn't done there by looking to sweep the ball from outside off and
nearly took the off stump.
Yeah, it's just the 3rd ball he's faced. I'd like to see that one punched through the cover for 1 or 2.
And the next one, that's what he attempts to do. Oh, his indecision, and they eventually go. And that'll be a run out, I reckon. What does the umpire say? No, he's got there. And there was a lot of indecision. There was a single there, I think. If they'd have gone straight away, there's no doubt about it. But they only just got through there for the single in the end.
Terrible running, terrible understanding between the two boys. Almost looked like as a level of disinterest, which of course wouldn't be the case, but that's how it seemed.
Anyway, Oliver Wood's off the mark and brings Jake Williams back on strike to Allenby. Flights this one, hits it through mid wicket. Does Jake Williams with a lot of style and flourish. Gives himself another run as the total goes up to 5 for 34. Oliver Wood, fine young footballer as well, played with Bridgenorth this year. Well, last season, I should say now. Cuts this one and does well out to deep point. Gets himself another run. So total ticks up to 5 for 35. Wood on 2, Williams on 18. Last ball coming up of Allenby's 3rd over, 2 for 17 at the moment. And Williams just lets that one go through the keeper. It's the end of the over. 5 for 35. And Rich, I went to your launch pre-season and you got the likes of Timmy Coyle involved and a lot of those sort of players in the pre-season to try and get the boys ready for the season.
Yeah, Andy Gower, of course, is our coach, but we have been able to draw with some Cricket Tasmania assistance on Coyley's ability. He of course went away coaching the Renegades women, and so has been unavailable, for quite a bit during that. But Roger Brown as well. Listeners will remember Roger was a very successful state bowler and is a highly regarded bowling coach.
First ball the over, Wood plays it out to deep cover for a single.
But the likes of Mick Davey as well, and so we've been able to draw on...
collective wisdom there.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So it's been terrific that they've they've been contributors and and helping the coaching effort.
Trainer to Williams, who just tried to turn that for a single. He got the leading edge of the bat, went to mid-wicket, no run. 5 for 36. Just a quiet passage of play here as the Raiders try to consolidate. Maybe launch something later on, we'll see. Well, that was a bit of a launch there by Jake Williams. Didn't move the feet.
And it looked like he missed it by quite a distance, didn't it? So he's in, Jake, but not looking, totally comfortable at the crease yet. Good bowling from Trainer.
Yeah, he's been impressive. Just 3 runs so far of his 9 deliveries. Comes in again to Williams. This one's short. It's cut nicely out to deep point. Now they might think of 2 here as the fieldsman has to move to his left. Sharp fielding.
Yeah, it's good.
My word, that was very good fielding as I get the glasses up. That was Sam Rainbird out there. Limits it to just the 1 run. Williams to 19. Wood is 3. It's 5 for 37. So Sam Rainbird, wicket earlier. Did that well with the bat today. Got himself a golden duck. 1 of 2 in the Clarence innings. As Wood plays it down to deep mid on. Get himself 1 as Steve Wild comes in to do the fielding. So they're pushing the scoreboard over, but it's more of a 50 over type pace at the moment than a T20 pace. But
they've really been forced into this situation, however, through the loss of the early wickets.
Run rate required's over 9 now. There's a bit of shuffling in the field. No fine leg at the moment. As Williams plays it nicely in the onside. He moved to his offside, give himself a bit of room, and gets out to Neil Smith for a single. It's the end of the over. That's the end of 9 overs. That's a 5 for 39 with Jake Williams on 20. Oliver Wood on 4. Very stylish batsman, Jake Williams. When he's going, he's a real joy to watch.
Yes, he is. And we haven't seen enough of it this year, unfortunately. But if he could be with us at the end, you never know. And of course, he can be a very powerful striker of the ball and a sweet timer of the ball when he's going. So, yeah, I just hope that he can hang in for another 2 or 3 overs at least.
Allenby's going to bowl out his 4 overs, and the first ball of his 4th over is hit into the offside by Williams and fielded there by Trainer. No run.
Where are his boundaries, do you think, Dave? Perhaps through extra cover to the left of the short cover fielder?
Be eyeing off mid-wicket there. He hits it though through the offside. Out to the outfield, 1 run.
And mid-wicket, of course. I'd like to see him go straight over the bowler as Jonah Watts did in his first delivery.
Jake Williams up to 21, 5 for 40. Oliver Wood on strike. He aims the big drive. He's caught behind. Jones takes the catch. He aimed the big drive, trying to get it over extra cover. And a fine edge. Seeing the demise now of Oliver Wood. Caught Jones, bowled Allenby. You're speechless, Richard.
I am. The ball was wide outside off. I think he was trying to drag it, a bit straighter, and it was a good catch. Any catch up to the stumps for the wicketkeeper is a good catch. But of course, exactly what the Raiders didn't need.
6 for 40 is the sorry tale at the moment for the Greater Northern Raiders. As Brandon King strides to the crease, who's a useful batsman, of course.
How about that combination of colours there, Dave? He's got very bright green boots on. It's a very interesting look with his equally bright orange Raiders top.
Yep.
Let's hope.
Colourful is one way of describing it.
Let's hope we see him out there for a while.
He's just coming into those watching the stream. You can see that colour contrast now. But good bowling, Allenby, 3 for 18, showing all his experience. No doubt about that.
You can see why he's a Rodwell medalist on multiple occasions. An opening batsman who can ply these left arm orthodox, and he's very hard to get away.
This ball from Allenby's outside the off stump and let go there by King, just getting himself a sighter. So no run. 6 for 40 remains the score. Next ball from Allenby. Going back as King. Doesn't get the edge. So it's a dot ball. It's contact. This is just a one run off this over and a wicket. So Allenby about to complete a fine spell. And this is his last ball. And it's cut sort of behind point. It's not a bad shot there from Brandon King. This might even get away to the boundary. It's getting close and it covers the boundary now. It's a nice little back cut there. Finishing the over from Harry Allenby. Fine spell nevertheless as he finishes up with 3 for 22. That's 10 overs gone. It's 6 for 44. Back in just a moment.
For bookings and more information, visit the website weathercountrymaster.com. Weather Country Master, a sponsor of City Park Radio.
So a bit of a sorry tale on the scoreboard at the moment for the Raiders. Barnard went for 2, Marnie no score, Anthony's 4, Elliston Buckley no score, Watts for 6 and Wood for 4. King is 4, Williams still there on 21. As Steve Wild comes into the attack for his first over. It's just played to the offside by Williams for no run. So wearing the big number 70 is Steve Wild on the back. Second grade captain of Clarence. Here he comes. This one's short and Williams smashes that to the onside. This might go for 4. No, it's well fielded just inside there by Sal Pietro, but they'll get back for 2. So 2 runs to Jake Williams. 6 for 46 is the score. English import is Steve Wild. Been coming over now for the last 5 seasons. And he comes. This one's short again. And Williams, has he picked the gap this time? No. This time it goes straight to Sal Pietro. And just a 1 run there for Jake Williams.
Yeah, Steve Wild works as a representative of the clothing company that we get our playing and non-playing attire from, Icon. So we have a professional, not just a playing relationship with him.
Brandon King on strike now. This time Wild a slower ball, but on the back foot, Brandon King hits it to the onside. They think about 2, but Sal Pietro does really well to get to the ball, limit it to 1. 6 for 48. So the target probably now unrealistic for the Raiders, but they'd like to get as many runs as they can in this 20 overs. Important innings here for Jake Williams. As Wild tosses it up, Williams on the bounce back to the bowler. Unusual action, Steve Wild. Longish action for a spinner.
Yeah.
Hustles in.
As he hustles in, it looks like he's bowling leg spin, but then comes out the front of his hand and it's an off spinner.
1 run there to Jake Williams to finish off the over. Reminds me of Bhagwat Chandrasekhar, who I used to watch when I was younger.
Yes, there we go. It almost looks angry as he's running into bowl, doesn't he?
He does.
Aggressive.
Wild by name, wild by nature.
Well, there we go, Dave. Yeah. What have we got? Sal Pietro to bowl, is it?
Got some fantastic depth in their bowling here. Of course, he was a vital wicket for the Raiders earlier today. He's been in really good form. Scored 81 off 53 versus Newtown last start. So to get his wicket today was a real bonus. But now he's got the ball in hand. As Dan Sal Pietro.
So what's our equation, Dave? We've got 9 overs to go and we need 90 odd, don't we?
Yeah,
90?
about 10 and over.
Yeah.
Yep. 10.3 to be exact is Sal Pietro. And Williams sees the big gap there on the onside. He knocks it out there for a single to Rainbird. So Jake Williams up to 26. 26 out of 50, and that's the 50 up for the Raiders. And the 12th over. Brandon King gets it down to deep mid on for 1. Sal Pietro coming around the wicket. Right arm. Falls from wide out. Williams thrashes this to the onside again. Same result to Sam Rainbird, who gets the ball in on the bounce. Williams 27. King on 6 as the scoreboard's just stopped for a little while. So lucky I got my computer here. Flights this one up. King gets it round the corner. There's a lot of groans there from the players in the Clarence team. But it was a dot ball. 6 for 52. Next ball. King plays it on the bounce to mid-wicket. Can't get a run. Brandon King bowled it really well earlier today against the Clarence batting lineup. This time King plays it down to mid-on. Off Sal Pietro. Gets himself a single. And that's the end of the over. Very quick over there, about 90 seconds. And score now up to 6 for 53.
It drives a little dagger every time you say the score there, Dave. I have to tell you.
So Steve Wilder continue. So Williams on 27 on strike. And so in fact, sorry, it's Brandon King on strike. 8 overs remaining. Flights it up to Wild. Hits it back. I don't know if that was a catch. One more reaction from the fields, must have been on the bounce. Half volley there. Just looking here at the replay on the stream. Certainly was on the half volley. Wild again. Right arm over. This one's short. A reverse sweep attempted. No contact made. It was probably worth the risk in the sense that there's nobody down there at third man. Which is not a fan, I can tell. No ramps or reverse sweeps. I can tell. As Wild, this time it goes for the big hoik through mid-wicket. Doesn't make contact.
Are they good when they work, Dave?
They are. So Wild getting through his overs quickly here. Down the pitch comes Brandon King. And that'll be a single out to deep mid-wicket. Get off the strike. 6 for 54. King up to 8.
Still the smoke haze.
Yeah, it's an eerie sort of outlook, isn't it? I'm sort of used to it now, but yeah, it's not great. As Williams tries to hit this to the leg side, pure for stumping. Back foot hadn't moved.
Yeah, he had difficulty trying to drag that from so far.
Yeah, it's a long way outside off stump.
Wide, and he was looking to take it through just in front of square leg, I think. You know, he may well have had more success if he was taking that through extra cover. He's still looking to the leg side.
6 for 54, and he goes again. Nice sweep shot. This might beat the fieldsman down there, Neil Smith. It does. A lovely shot, just behind square. Make great contact and classical sweep shot there from Jake Williams.
Yeah, that one was straighter, and it enabled him to get it behind square. And yeah, excellent shot.
So 13 overs gone, 6 for 58, and Jake Williams into the 30s. Fine knock so far. So equation 7 overs remaining, and the run rate required now up to 12 and over. So unrealistic, but be good to finish on a respectable note. Try and get that target, or that total, sorry, over 100 at least. That would be the aim, I'd think. So Brandon King on strike. As Sal Pietro comes around the wicket. Doesn't make full contact. Probably lucky he didn't, as it falls in no man's land. And it's fielded there by Ned Absalom for just the one run to Brandon King. 6 for 59. Nice little partnership building here between the two players. It's King and Williams. This one's a fully, and it's knocked through mid-wicket. Would have been disappointed he didn't get it in that gap there.
Yeah, be wanting to do more with that one. Loopy full toss and his eyes lit up, but hit it straight to the fielder at deep mid-wicket.
6 for 60 with Williams now on 32. King, nice shot. Gets down and sweeps this one to deep square leg and gets himself a single as well. Moves into double figures. Does Brandon King up to 10. 6 for 61. So a little partnership building here. Sal Pietro to Williams is a short. Flicks it round the corner. They might think of two here, but no doing as the fieldsman gets the ball pretty quickly. One more run. So they're doing it in ones at the moment. Partnership now up to 22. 6 for 62. They were 6 for 40. As King Yorks himself there from that ball from Sal Pietro. And no run. Williams 33, King on 10. And King is bowled by Sal Pietro. He went down, tried to hit through the onside, got through the defences there of Brandon King, and he's gone now for 10. And it's now 7 for 62. So well bowled there by Dan Sal Pietro. And promising partnership nipped in the bud there, Richard.
Yeah, too little, really. We're in the pickle now. And the incoming batsman,
Jake
Dixon. Yeah, so looking to see what he can contribute after what was an excellent effort with the ball. But I have to concede that, yes, the target's unrealistic for our boys now.
So batsman out, Barnard for 2, Omani no score, Anthony's for 4, Ellison Buckley for no score, Watts for 6, Wood for 4, and Brandon King 10 off 16. Jake Williams is the rock at the moment. He's there 33 off 38. 6 overs remaining at 7 for 62. So another 80 runs required. It's out of the question now unless there's some sort of miracle here. We've got Matt Bevan into the attack, who only lasted the one ball earlier. He's only been promoted to the first fairly recently. Let's see what he's got here with the ball. Widespread field, plenty of singles on offer, but they need boundaries at the moment as Bevan comes in. Bowls to Williams, slightly uppish around the corner. Just gets the one run. Down to backward square leg. Moves up to 34. 7 for 63. Big chance here for Jake Williams to carry the bat. Ever done that, Richard?
Carry the bat?
Yeah.
Oh, Dave.
Have you done that in grade cricket or?
Yes, but not in the recent, recent times. But yes, of course, the messages, were about responsibility and digging in back in the day, as the young guys say. So yes, I had plenty of opportunities to bat for long periods of time.
Bevan this time to Dixon, who puts it on the offside, gets himself his first run. A soft-handed shot there, backward of point.
I think in a way that sort of opportunity is what drives my interest in seeing what I can do to contribute to these guys having the opportunity to play at a higher level, because I was fortunate enough to play alongside David Boone and Peter Faulkner and Greg Wilson and Tim Coyle and the likes, and of course playing with and against quality players, provides your greatest opportunity.
A lot of them were playing state cricket at the time.
And of course, yes, those players were going off to play Shield cricket and then returning to their clubs, and you learn from their experiences.
There was a wide there in that second delivery from Matt Bevan, 7 for 65. Bevan to Williams, who plays this nicely through the offside. Through the gap there between backward point, and it's going down to the boundary. That's 4 runs. Lovely shot, Jake Williams. That was very classy. He was given some width outside the off stump and took full toll of it. 7 for 69. Williams up to 38. Let's see if we can see a half century. That'll be a great reward for young Jake. Well, he's batted 38 off 40.
Yes, that was an example of the shot that we've been looking for all innings. A shot without the risk, but into the gap to get full value for the shot.
Bevan this time to Williams. This one's short on the leg side. Paddles it around the corner. They think about two. Oh, it looks like Jake Dixon's in a lot of trouble. He just gets back in time. It's probably a wise move to go back in the end. He had to get on his bike back the other way very quickly.
Yes, our wickets have been lost with big shots, which in some instances have not been on, and of course we've paid the price.
7 for 70. Bevan now to Dixon. That's short. A nice shot from Dixon. This is forward of point. He's getting himself the singles. It goes out to Neil Smith in the deep. So some of these lower order batsmen getting a bit of a hit, which never hurts Richard in the bigger picture under this pressure.
Well, sometimes, playing T20 cricket, and if you're going along well, and we certainly have found this in the women's program, some of your players at number 5, 6 and 7, end up halfway through the season without having batted very much, and can ultimately be a problem when you get to finals cricket.
Bevan to Williams, who goes a mile outside his off stump to try and hit to the leg side. It's hit on the body. Into the over there by Bevan. 15 overs gone. It's 7 for 71. We're back in just a moment for the last 5 overs of the game. Welcome back to TAS Stadium with Dave Moore and Richard Bennett, and we're broadcasting the Cricket Tasmania Premier League game via the live stream and also on City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5. And at the moment, it's 15 overs, 7 for 71, as Sal Pietro bowls here to Dixon, who hits it through the onside for a single. He's looked okay with the bat so far, Richard, young Dixon.
Oh, he's been impressive, hasn't he? He shows just great endeavour, and he's just got that happy knack with the ball that the batter's just not currently getting to him. And so, well done. And it shows some good endeavour with the bat as well.
As Williams gets it back to Sal Pietro, who doesn't stop it with the right hand, deflects to deep mid-on. Run there for Williams. Into the 40s for Jake. He's on to 40 off 43 and 7 for 73 here at UTAS Stadium. Back here tomorrow, don't forget, for the Raiders versus Glenorchy game. As young Dixon there tries to hit it through the offside, it gets beaten.
We'll be able to see immediately whether they've learnt from their experiences today.
Sal Pietro to Dixon. This time he leans back, hits across the line slightly to deep mid-on and gets himself a run. I'd be surprised if they bring back Rainbird and Neil Smith for the last 4 overs. Both got 2 left each. 7 for 74. This one's a bit quicker. Played through the onside here by Williams. Takes the pace off it a bit. This time they will get 2, and that's good running by the 2 young players for the Raiders.
Yeah, good awareness there. Of course, with all of the fielders in front of the wicket on the leg side, on the boundary or near the boundary, if the ball's played at the right pace, you can come back for 2, which is what they did. And this time it's into the gap, and they may... No.
Nice shot from Williams.
So just the 1 that time, Dave. 43
off 45, 7 for 76. That's the end of the 16th over. 7 for 77, I should say. And Richard, the score was 6 for 40, so from 6 for 40 to 7 to 77, that's some sort of recovery of sorts.
You're always a glass half full guy, Dave. I'm harder than that.
Yeah. I'm not saying the 6 for 40 should have happened, but given that it was 6 for 40,
yes.
But the lower order players are really combining here well with Jake Williams.
Yeah, the problem was at the top, not in the middle, I think. And so yes, that's fair to say that. And you're right, Rainbird is coming back.
Yeah.
He's switched in, so he's bowling now from the Invermaid Park end. So he may well bowl overs 17 and 19.
I think Neil Smith will probably bowl overs 18 and 20.
Which will be a good test for Jake Dixon, and we'll see whether Jake Williams is really in or not. 2
Jakes put on a few runs here, and it'd be great for young Jake Williams to get a half century. He's on 43, faces Rainbird. He hits through the offside. Nice sound of ball on bat there on our effects mic as it's hit to deep cover. And that's 44 runs now to Jake Williams. Score up to 7 for 78. Yep, good test here for Jake Dixon. He wouldn't have faced too many bowls with the pace and experience of Sam Rainbird. No doubt about that. I think Jake's from Wynyard.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Wynyard coached, of course, by Greg Sharman, who was a great sporting figure on the Northwest Coast. As he gets the full toss here, hits it down a bit off. A trainer shot at the stump, that might have been close. So gone for overthrows, has it? No, they won't be able to get back for a second. So nice little single there for Jake Dixon. He's moved himself up to 5. 7 for 79. Rainbird, a very angular run up here, we can see.
Yes, typical left armour who comes from a little bit wider than...
And he comes to Williams, who gets the ball outside of stump, hits it to point. They get a single.
They've really looked to close that gap. Jake Williams certainly likes
Loves
to
cut shot,
just behind point is his spot. And they've whilst the medium pace of the faster bowlers have been operating, they've positioned 2 fielders there with a gap of no more than 6 or 7 metres between them. So really closed down his scoring opportunity.
Scoring of the 80s at 7 for 80. We're halfway through the 17th over. Williams is 45. Dixon on 5. This time it's Rainbird to the left-handed Dixon. This is short. Bit of a pacey delivery, that one. It was a legal delivery through to the keeper in Jones. Bent the back a bit on that one.
And young Jake was trying to drag it across with a no, it wasn't a horizontal bat shot, was it? More like
he probably would have been better off trying to help it on its way.
Yes,
He's got the gap down there. There's no slip in place.
That's right. Yeah, he was trying to drag it across, but yes, down to third man might have been his option.
As now Rainbird comes into Dixon, it's right in the block hole. He can just only do the one thing, and that's play it back to the bowler. Fine bowling here from Sam Rainbird.
Yeah, ball that's under bowled, I think, in T20 cricket.
Do you think bowlers are a bit shy because it's got to be just right? If you don't quite get it right, it can be right in the block hole.
Yeah. Well, true. But if it's straight, then all the things are going back to into the bowler's favour.
That's right. Rainbird to Dixon. He hits it down the ground. He might give himself a single here, he does, as it beats the infield. And then come back for 2, in fact. That's nice running. The shy comes in. And well done there to Dixon. He gets himself 2 runs. That's the end of the Rainbird over. It's 7 for 82 at the end of the 17th over. So 60 required off 3 overs.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we've
Jake been waiting for this moment to explode.
I'm not sure that we've got the firepower. I have seen Jake in a zone where 20 and over is within the realms, but he just hasn't found that space today. So no, I don't know that it's realistic for us to go at 20 and over, even for 3.
So it's like Matt Bevan coming back on, the number 55. It is indeed. So Neil Smith not going to bowl the final overs. It's a bit interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's sore or what the reason would be for that. Maybe it's the mercy rule, Dave.
You'd hope not. Well, they bowled Sam Rainbird at the other end, so I don't think they're interested in that. But anyway, here's Matt Bevan now to Jake Williams. It's a short down leg side. It's a wide signalled straight away by the umpire. 7 for 83.
Yeah, it's probably more the case of Bevan not as experienced at this level as most of his teammates. So we're just looking for opportunity to get some work into into those players.
Jake just had a bit of a look there on the offside, so They've got that backward point, 2 backward point fields, and there it is. He tries to get through them. Just gets the one, though, goes straight there to Ned Absalom, who does a good piece of fielding.
Yeah, they've been tidy in the field, the Clarence boys. Well drilled.
So Jake Dixon back on strike. He's on 7. Just to check the partnership here, because it's not too bad at the moment.
It'll be 22, I reckon.
Oh, yes, of course, it's up on the board. 22. So, yeah, from 6 for 40, it's a partnership of 22 between King and Williams, and now a partnership of 22 between Dixon and Williams. So Bevan to Dixon. Hits in the air a little bit, but he will get himself a single out to deep cover. Move up to 8. 7 for 85. The smoke haze still persists. The wind, as I mentioned, has got up a fair bit here. Definitely the temperature hasn't reached the forecast 30 degrees due to a lot of the smoke that's about. As Bevan this time to Williams, he advances, hits it into the covers. Oh, they're going to get a run here. There's hesitation into the keeper, but they end up getting the run. And there was a 4 and offer for Jake there if he'd hit it either side of that fieldsman, because they haven't got anyone on that offside and extra cover or mid-off. He hit it straight to the fieldsman and moves himself up to 47, 7 for 86. Bevan now to Jake Dixon. Right arm over. Dixon's bowled. He aims the big shot over mid-wicket. He rattles the stumps. And that's the 8th wicket down for 86. And we're into the 18th over. Promising little knock there, probably just a little bit ambitious with that last shot.
Yeah, it really was, backed into a bit of a corner. As we see Evan Gulbis wandering around the ground with his daughter. He did all he could, and clearly the rate was beyond us. But he's had a good day. He certainly bowled well and showed good intent with the bat. So he can look forward to playing more Raiders games this year and taking his experience with him.
A lot of these youngsters are going to grow physically too, aren't they? I mean, it's difficult when you're 16, 17, still growing to physically hit the ball through the field.
Well, that's right.
You gain that strength.
We saw the Clarence players were finding the boundary easily.
I mean, a lot of the Clarence players are 25 to 30 age bracket.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a combination of the physical strength and the cricket nous that comes through your experience. So our job is to make sure that that the young guys, grow from the experience and are certainly not broken by it.
Matt Bevan 1 for 13 as he bowls to Beattie, who backs away and tries to slat through the offside. And you'd hope that the last couple of batsmen he would hang around. Jake Williams 47. You always like to get to that 50 mark. It'll be well deserved. Well,
that's right. James Beattie's always keen to spruik his batting credentials, so he's got a couple of overs here to show them.
It's a widespread field. There's nobody in the infield on the onside, so expect the offside attack, which it is. He gets it into the offside and gets himself off the mark as James Beattie for a run, and 8 for 87.
Not sure if you can see, probably not, Dave, but you might notice that James has got very loose pad straps at the top pad. I've been working on him for a couple of years to see if we can address that. He explains to me that it comes from being from playing in shorts at summertime.
Yep.
And he had a pair of pads that he used to just, make him a little bit uncomfortable on the beach. So he can't get out of the habit.
I can see that through the binoculars there. You're definitely right. He's got it happening again there.
Not a good look, Dave.
Yep. He's up against Sam Rainbird. Bevan, by the way, 2 overs, 1 for 14. Rainbird has bowled 3 overs, 1 for 19. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wicket takers so far for Clarence. And there's 7 bowlers. And here's Rainbird now to Beattie, who just lays back and hits it to backward point. The 2 fieldsmen there, and he gets off strike. And he gets Jake Williams on strike, who's on 47. Score is all the 8s, 8 for 88 in the 18th over. Don't forget we're back here tomorrow at 2:25. Raiders versus Glenorchy. The Magpies from down south as Rainbird now, and Williams just tries to dab that, and he was trying to put that between the backward point fieldsman and the keeper. Idea was right, didn't make contact. That would have been his 50 if he'd made contact with that one. There's a massive gap there for the late cut. Australia 5 for 375 in the test. Tim Payne at the moment. Some afternoon watching there as Rainbird comes in again to Williams, who shuffles across. Appeal for caught behind. Won't be called a wide because he moves so far to the offside. And it's a dot ball.
Looks like it went over the stumps,
Dave.
Do you think?
Once again, there's no fine leg, I think. He's looking for places where he can score that elusive boundary. A few words have been spoken out there, I think, all in good nature. A few smiles on faces. As Sammy Rainbird, we're in the number 14, left arm over into Williams. This one's in the block hole. You can just play it down to mid-on. Runs the first one hard. They're going to come back for the second. James Beattie does well. And that puts Jake Williams on 49 out of 91. So he's been there since the start. 49 off 52 balls. Score is 90. And as I said, the Raiders would love to get that 3-figure mark, just to get that bit of respectability into the score.
Yes, still on track to do that, I think. Just need to get one boundary away in the next 8 deliveries, and that should be attainable.
Rainbird to Williams, who hits in the offside, and that's his 50. And that's well deserved. There's a warm round of applause from the spectators in front of us here as he gets to the 50 mark, and reward for a great effort. He's grafted away. It's not been easy at times, but he's done well, Richard Bennett.
Yeah, he's stuck with it well, and just a real shame that he hasn't had a top order mate to hang in there with him. It's important now to finish off well, as you say.
Rainbird to Beattie. Nice shot down the ground. It was right in the block hole. Nice swing of the bat. Gets himself a single to bring to the end of the 19th over. 8 for 92. So Beattie is on 3. Williams on 50. So it's all about getting the heads up for tomorrow, Richard.
Yes.
And Clarence are on top of the ladder. We have to acknowledge that.
Yeah, that's right.
They're playing the team that's the premier team at the moment in this form.
Yeah.
At this stage of the season.
Yeah, Coach Gower will gather the boys after the game, of course, and they'll quickly go through what's worked well today and what hasn't. And it's rare in cricket that you have such an immediate opportunity to turn it around. But in summary, the bowling, excellent. Ground fielding perhaps could be sharper. And of course, the top order batting today really disappointing, in as much as some of those batsmen, or some of our batsmen, really didn't give themselves an opportunity to knock it into the gaps. But tomorrow's another day, of course.
Trainer bowling the last over. It's a full toss to Beattie, who hits it to deep mid off. Chance for a run out. Missed stumps. Would have been out. They'll get a single. A chance for the overthrow.
Beattie was keen to come back, but I think Jake Williams was keen to take most of this last over.
It's Jake Williams. It's 8-4-93. As I said, they'll be looking to try and get to the 100. Bit of respectability there. Trainer with that boomerang-like run up. Well, that's a no ball, no doubt about that. Umpires aren't out straight away. They might try and double this up. They will. So that'll be 3 more runs for the Raiders. 8 for 96, plus a free hit and extra delivery. A real bonus there.
Yes, I hope Jake, this free hit, I hope he sets himself to try and get this straight. I think most of the innings he's looked to the square boundaries, but he is such a good striker of the ball straight when he's in and going.
Trainer, just outside the off stump.
Yeah, gave himself room there, and Trainer bowled it full and wide, and he couldn't stretch back to get it. But yeah, I think I would like to see Jake get straight down the ground a little more.
It's 8 for 96. That 100 is now in sight. As wicket falls in for May Park as Williams yorks himself as he advances. He's not happy with himself. 3 deliveries remaining. And I've said it before, Richard, but 6 for 40 to 8 for 96. And they're going to bat out the 20 overs. So I think in any form of cricket you want to fight things out to the end and not
yeah, that's right.
give it away. So they've certainly done that. As Trainer comes into Williams this time.
Oh,
and he's outside off stump, can't make contact.
It's been good bowling.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, they're perhaps one of the lesser credentialed bowlers, but that's fallen just a foot or so outside off stump. With the field set as it is, that's really given Jake Williams not much to do with that. So
Alex Trainer 1 for 10 in his 3rd over, which is great figures. This time Williams gets it to the covers. He'll only get the single, gives up the ghost, but the shy misses the stumps. They're going to try and come back for 2, and they will, which is a good move. It gets Williams back on strike, 8 for 98. Williams up to 54. There's been some shies at the stumps today, Richard, and none of them have connected.
I don't think there's been one.
I don't think so. I mean, a lot of them have been signed on, admittedly, but a lot of run-out chances gone bigging. Last ball of this contest, 8 for 98. Can they get to the 100? As Williams does it in style, he hits it over mid-on. 1 bounce for 4, as 8 for 102 is the final score here for the Greater Northern Raiders. And a fine effort there from Jake Williams, finishing up there on 58. Is it a 6, is it?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, umpire's changed his mind, reversed it, and it's a 6.
Okay.
That's the shot I was looking for all innings. Yep. Very crisply hit over mid-on.
Yep, and I was just watching here. We're a bit on delay here with the live stream, but yeah, quite right. So 8 for 104 is the final score. So in the end, the Raiders going down by 37 runs. 8 for 141, Clarence. 8 for 104, the Raiders. Richard, your thoughts?
Well, the players getting together to exchange their pleasantries, which of course is a feature of cricket nowadays. In all grades and all formats, the players of both teams gather on the ground straight away to shake hands and to shake hands with the umpires as well. So that's always good to see. Look, yes, as I say, disappointing effort with the bat, but a terrific opportunity for both teams, but the Raiders in particular to play in a venue of this quality. Jake Williams played well. I thought Brandon King showed a little bit, and we were impressed also with the way Jake Dixon goes about his work. The Clarence bowlers showed their experience, and Allenby, Rainbird, Neil Smith, but also Trainer and Bevan, all really miserly. So congratulations to Clarence. The Raiders will go away with lots to take from the game. In particular, their bowling was first rate. I thought they bowled and fielded well. Yeah. A couple of misfields, but they took their catches. Catches were well held. Ground fielding perhaps a little bit off, but as you say, tomorrow's an immediate opportunity for us to put some learnings in place and see if we can't turn the tables on Glenorchy. It's 4 minutes to. I'll quickly run through the scorecard here for the Raiders. So Williams 60 not out off 59 balls, 79 minutes, 4 fours and a 6. Barnard was dismissed for 2. Omani no score. Anthys for 4. Elliston Buckley no score. Watts for 6. Wood for 4. King for 10. Jake Dixon made 8. Beattie was not out for 8 for 104. Wicket takers for Clarence. Allenby the standout, 3 for 22. Then Rainbird 1 for 24. Neil Smith 1 for 2 off just the 2 overs. Trainer 1 for 18. Sal Pietro 1 for 14. Bevan 1 for 14. So the final score 8 for 141. Plays 8 for 104. Richard, it's been a pleasure working with you. Likewise, Dave, and thank you to City Park Radio for your terrific support of local sport and of the Premier League in particular. It's been terrific today to have had a live stream and the opportunity for this broadcast, and as we've already said several times during the broadcast, for the for the both sides to have the opportunity to access the terrific facility here at UTAS Stadium.
Fantastic, and thanks to Eamon Doherty here from Cricket Tasmania for setting up the stream. Great job. And thanks for UTAS Stadium for hosting us here as well. Thanks for Chris back in the studio for getting us to air this afternoon. He'll be on board as well with myself tomorrow, and I'll be joined by Andrew Fitz for the Glenorchy versus Raiders game. That's pretty much all from us from the live stream and from City Park Radio. Just repeating the final score here. It was Clarence 8 for 141, defeated the Raiders 8 for 104. Bye for now.